using the blink via seed, so really well played by Conte, just knowing his limits really well on that Aurora.
Yeah, Conte has been absolutely spamming that Aurora. It is definitely unfair to call him an Aurora one trick. This tournament has definitely proven that he can play other picks, but it's just something about that Aurora pick, Conte. I don't know if it is comfort or maybe just the playstyle just kind of speaks on a different level. And we're seeing, we've seen so many of those glacial charges. The Ice War's been used in many creative ways, showcasing maybe this newest hero to the roster, and these teams having so much fun exploring what they can do with that pick.
Ok. Mi sentite? Cioè, è insane sta cosa. Mamma mia, che timing, ragazzi. Che timing. E mi ha frizzato completamente il PC. Cioè, non lo so. Ok, va bene, dai. Ci hanno perso 5 minuti. Porca miseria.
But he is fine just chilling in that offlane. It's really hard for the Saras to actually get that solo kill, especially after level 6, because with that ultimate up on the Savarog, the Colossal Blow, he can always disengage from that Colosseum, so he shouldn't be too worried.
Bene, bene.
Blink missing is a bad omen for him because
Ah, fallo dello stream, hai ragione. Ok. Mi si è sputtanato tutto, raga, un attimo. Ok. Ditemi se ci sono problemi.
Into the tower at the nick of the time, but really close.
It's just another blink being burned on the side of B team here. Conte impacting onto that mid lane for first blood, now showing himself to that left hand side. I mean, that Kira Narbash lane we're expecting on draft to be a little bit of a snooze fest, take a little bit of time for them to get involved, and Conte recognizing that, wanting to accelerate.
Hanno già scammato un'altra chat giveaway. Non lo so, dovrebbe arrivarti un messaggio privato di Twitch, penso, se hai vinto. Comunque best of 5 la finale, vedete là in alto a sinistra, best of 5. Moroso si prende la kill così. Frega niente del gank.
He was baiting, but it was just not good enough with Venom just a tiny bit too far away now. I see it in the mid lane is also gonna get blinked on by Mike. He does have the ultimate up. Is not gonna use it. It's just gonna watch as he falls. Black hole enough from Mikey together with Conte to secure that kill. 2 more kills in quick succession over to the side of
sì, 7 minuti 03. Sì. Non hai capito. Passami la lead.
Because B team usually one of those teams that win through lanes. Now already 3 kills given.
È questo che gli hanno detto Immuna al B team.
In the semi-finals as well, as Bondrude is just going to take that green buff away from Penguin as well with the beam and the base attack as well. Just the slight little details here for B team to keep himself up, keep morale going. It is going to be a very long series for everyone involved. 3 kills down low to Team Immune. Conte now showing on that right-hand side. Remember, Llama still does not have that blink. He's going to push it forward a little bit more, but Morose has got the Colosseum. He's going to throw it down. Waiting for that colossal blow, but Morose
E qua mi sa che ci lascia Lama. Vediamo. Attenzione. Sì. E prende anche la kill.
On the opposing jungler now, a 1 versus 2 for Morose, who's still juking it out. He's still going, but he's got respect as the crush comes down into
incredibile. Doppia kill, sì.
Is coming though, does not have the black hole, but does have the torn space. Is gonna go on to Llama, connect with both of his primary abilities, and Llama has to run. It's gonna juke a bit around the corner, but you gotta think it's just a matter of time. Llama waiting for his dash to be up. Mikey gonna get Mikey.
Why the... Attenzione!
He's gonna get collected. Mikey takes another pick, and that should be 3 in his pocket. So actually 2 kills and 1 assist in his pockets.
Immune able to get something off the back of that, but oh my word, we have to go back from that play from Envenom there as well in the right hand side. Bondrude, oh, that's a very nice stasis from Bondrude, but anyway, ignoring the point there on the right. Holy, that was clutched by Envenom, right?
Yeah, that was really, really good. Also, Blink used by Aurora to try to get the kill onto the Subrock, but with the Blinks being matched by Venom there, makes sure that his offlaner at least doesn't get targeted too much in this game. Like the Subrock can tank a lot of jungle pressure, but if it's against Morose, honestly, you don't wanna let that lane get too much out of control, and we see it right here. Right? Morose gets shut down. Yes, it goes towards the Grux. You kind of don't necessarily want the Grux to be too ahead because you still want him to be the one, you want him to be ahead, but you don't want him to get a big shutdown because he is going to be the one that is most likely going to die a lot, but still has the Berserker's Axe ready now, and now it's also the timing where usually we see Immune already starting up the Fangtooth. Instead, Dual Lane is the target.
Beating got to respect that though. 7-1 has a blink, able to get away. The Boreal Sweep will connect, not enough damage, but Bondred, Ven
questo è ottimo stun di Decker. Ulti di Aurora, che però non può essere seguito dalla duo. E viene presa ancora una kill da Grux. Che però, come diceva Tang, non è ottimale perché Grux sarà quello che probabilmente morirà di più dovendo fare da frontline, quindi magari non è il caso che abbia la taglia lui, però non fanno schifo queste kill, ecco.
When your jungler gets caught, just the best vision is not gonna save you from giving over that Fangtooth that is gonna be secured.
Ed è anche Fangtooth per i B-team.
In the objective lead. Also, did come back a tiny bit from those very first moments. Now 3-2 for the kill score. Before it was a 3-0 for Immune. So I think a decent comeback, definitely stabilizing this entire situation.
I think stabilizing has to be the key word there, right, Tang? Especially with how volatile this game can be, how much snowballs can happen as well. And with Team Immune, if that team was able to get that snowball rolling, the wombo combo, those team fights might just be too much to handle. Conte looks towards the left-hand side, but a cheeky ward in a river will give away the ghost, and that's going to allow the duo lane to get to safety behind his tier 1. Now, Conte kind of having to play it around a bit, looking towards the mid lane, but Tacit already has that read, the ward, that vision getting value in a Ven. He's going to start that mini prime off of it.
Yeah, Conte does not have that ultimate up after getting caught there in the blue side jungle, using the cryosism there against the Grux, which gives him a bit of a disadvantage.
E qua ci lascia anche Penguin, penso. E invece no, blinka.
Does not have the ultimate to follow up on that kill, but still forces the blink out in the isolated 2 versus 2. Neft and Penguin trying to crash this, and on the other side it's Venom securing that mini prime. So it's really looking up for B team. They are winning across the map at this point, and honestly, that's sort of the B team I was expecting looking into this matchup, TJ. I was expecting Immune to win those late game team fights, to be a bit more coordinated in those, but B team are just so stellar in laning.
Of course, yeah, and it has to go down to Ven on that Grux as well, just being in the right place at the right time, whether it's saving Llama in that solo lane or catching out Conte on that duo lane as well. But of course, of the 3 kills for B team, all of them are in on this Grux as well, so just got to help him out that way. Llama now going to be ganked.
Ma in realtà no, ha giocato anche Quang, l'ha giocato molto bene scorsa partita, quindi server americani no, torneo europeo.
And Llama knows about it. Spray on the floor as well. He's feeling pretty good, but now Bondred making the roam from left to mid lane, but he's missing that stasis bomb, and that little rotation's going to fall apart.
Yeah, it's gonna fall apart, but they don't lose too much on the left side if Grim doesn't overextend. That actually does take a really bad trade. Maybe Neft is the one getting caught now. Penguin as well does not have the blink up. Grux has everything up, so does Bondred.
He's going to blink to get away, but that just leaves the Narbash to be the sacrificial lamb for this one. That drum solo is going to be interrupted.
Quel Ven sta giocando davvero molto molto bene.
Benefits from the kill, made the rotation. Mike wasn't up to scratch there. This gives B team a little bit of a grouping up on this left-hand side. Mike's got to be careful, but
effettivamente non ha senso.
Safety, but B team equaling up things in the kill team and making this game very interesting from here on out.
And Grux catches onto Aurora, forces out another one of those crises, and forces also the blink by cleansing that ultimate from the Aurora. Really smart crest choice there by Ven. Knows exactly what he has to focus on. Focuses on that Aurora, uses that leverage on the Grux, that sort of fast clearing speed, that strong duelist playstyle to just take the entire red side away from Conte as well.
No, it has actually been something that's been very much moving under the radar, right? The rise of Brutalax as a crest item, junglers and solo laners just cannot get enough of it here. But when you look at the top picks in the match at the moment, the amount of CC that teams are bringing to the table, it just makes so much sense in those scenarios of Ven already, you know, that
effettivamente sì, il Brutalax su Grux è una bella pensata, considerando che ha tanti CC contro, soprattutto l'ultimate Aurora, quindi...
Conte back in that blue side jungle as well. It seems the battle lines have been drawn once more, but neutrals are going to be spawning very soon.
Yeah, Fangtooth another minute or so away. I like Venom playing around the left-hand side because he knows that the Grim is a bit targetable at the moment. Doesn't have to blink up. Neft and Penguin know it as well, so they could always call Conte over, but with no red side up, Conte will have a hard time sticking around that left-hand side. Fangtooth also spawning any second now. Grim in the mid lane. Gideon has first rotation as well. Bond needs to be careful. Aurora has vision on him as well.
Just playing it safe here, but actually Bondrew's going to go for the recall in a little bit of no man's land. He is surrounded by wards. Thankfully, Bondrew is playing a Decker. Any other support might have been caught out there, but the double jump able to get a little bit of that terrain.
Devono stare attenti che questo Severok mangia, se mangia, poi in late game diventa un mostro. Già adesso lo spacca a metà Zarus. Attenzione, qua se lo fa solo Bolo. Sì. Solo Bolo.
And that's why he's the Severok GOAT. He just solo kills, just completely dry solo kill. Morose doesn't stand a chance. Lama knows his limits, gets the kill at a timing where Fangtooth is.
Ed è secondo Fangtooth. Mamma mia, il B-team gli sta distruggendo,
The back of his huge shoulders on that offlane 1-2-1, no problem at all. He plays the scaling game. He doesn't mind Aurora using so much time on that right hand wave. He doesn't mind the Gideon coming over and over.
Solo Bolo Zarus. Visto Sunny. Non c'è counterplay, non c'è counterplay. No, quello è Shinx. Non c'è counterplay.
Not feeling too good about that one. Conte over here on the left hand side as the Fangtooth was already taken, as he said, but maybe looking for a kill on
un glitch di sistema, dici? Usi i cheat.
In the vicinity as well. Conte on one of his most impactful picks is just not finding anything at this moment.
And it's all due to Venom just finding him in his own jungle, forcing the ultimate out, and then it's an Aurora with no ult up. He did get a few good timings on that offlane, on that dual lane, excuse me, forcing the blink of Grim, forcing the blink of Decker.
Chi vince? Il B-team per ora sta vincendo.
As well as he should, and now Grim and Decker, both of them have all their abilities back up.
Sta dominando, se dobbiamo essere sinceri. Game 1, sì. Best of 5.
They can just play with so much safety as well because that Fangtooth has already been taken down. So honestly, they are just chilling. They're loving life in that left-hand side, knowing they do have that safety.
Forzagonte.
Then, just I know, it's just been a different beast in this game. Right place, right time for each moment.
Il ranked.
Sniffing around that right-hand side, but Llama just gonna know something's up here. Gonna back away, gonna concede a little bit of pressure here, but look towards.
Ormai è un Rainbow Six player. Mentre gioca a Demo si sente lui: ma non è possibile! Ma non ci credo! No, ma giocava a Fault, sì.
They really don't want to give up another objective 3 so far.
Traveler 6.
To the side of B team.
Altri che Rainbow Six e Trouble 6.
Wanting to scrap around it. Nabish is there 4 versus 4. Only the left side is free now. Fighting, going off Venom in the front line.
Buonasera Danny. Benvenuto in chat. Attenzione perché qua potrebbe essere piccato Grux. Sì, preso Grux. Preso da Gideon che ha lo shutdown. Ha preso lo shutdown di Grux. E il mini prime ora va quasi sicuramente al team immune. Vediamo. Black Hole. Perfetto. Prese 2 pick. Attenzione che arriva Grim. C'è la ultimate di Aurora, che è perfetta anche quella, vediamo. Presa la kill anche su Howitzer. E poi arriva Neft. Sì. Quindi 4 pick compreso Crux più Mini Prime per Team Immune, che ora si riprende un po' dagli svarioni precedenti. Ora riprende un po' di terreno, anche se il B-Team ha 2 Fentut, quindi c'è ancora da lavorare, diciamo.
Showing her worth, Conte showing why he just absolutely loves playing that hero and winning that team fight pretty much solo-handedly from him. Now, Criticism also comes back at the perfect time to catch the Grim as well, Neft securing that kill in his pockets as well. Now, a lot of time being invested on the right-hand side. We're looking at the minimap again. And now I think the next fight is gonna go closer and closer again with the Fangtooth just being away another minute or so.
Tra 20 secondi, anzi 10 secondi spawna il Prime e tra pochissimo spawna pure il Fentut. Il terzo sarebbe per i B-Team, quindi assolutamente da evitare da parte degli Immune. Però c'è anche il Prime, quindi si potrebbe tradare, non lo so, vediamo. Attenzione, perché qua potrebbe esserci un pick. Non penso che Aurora abbia la ulti perché l'ha usata nel fight precedente.
Once again, perfectly mirrors Conte, able to dissuade any further aggression. Mikey's in the river, so is a Sid. Bondred has to be careful here, taking the rocks from Mikey. It's got some missiles of its own, trying to find a way through. Funk not gonna land. Conte is allowing himself to move forward towards this left hand side.
Che Mikey qua si è preso 2-3 missili.
Position here, B team just keeping himself to safety. 7-1's got to be careful on the Grim, gets to the tower. Now Ven has a way in to the backline as well. The space and orb does catch on to Conte. He's got a little bit more distance. Some basics start to hit as well, but no clean engage now. Stay spawn from Bondry.
Qua mi sa che ci lascia il Narbash, è così, sì. Ci lascia pure la Decker però, quindi 1 per 1.
Both supports dropping will be the only outcome for that player on the left, but Fangtooth has spawned.
And Severog is making the rotation over instantly, gives up the tier 1 for the chance to
qua sono 4 versus 3 però, perché Severog ha ruotato, mentre Zarus ha preferito continuare.
Jungler with that Aurora is on in base, is actually not even close, is actually at the entrance, excuse me. Now
ottimo Black Hole lì. Però terzo Fentut per i BT. Presa pure la kill su Mikey. E probabilmente ci lascia pure Aurora. Arriva Morose però, che fa clean up. Neft è lasciato solo però. Mamma mia. Tripla su Morose, che è arrivato troppo in ritardo, però almeno ha un po' clean uppato.
3-4-2. What an extended fight. Honestly, B-Team a bit caught with their pants down. Did have a bit of a lazy.
Questo Fang però è importante, quindi il B-Team adesso è avanti.
Also not connecting with those stasis stuns unless they are recalling. That is a bit of a bummer. But yeah, in total still B-Team securing the third Fangtooth of the game. Now, if it's not an X versus Imp series, I would say that's a pretty big advantage for them.
Decker non è niente male. Bondry non è niente male. Ora al prossimo fight probabilmente sarà il Prime. Sembra che adesso è già un macigno.
Having the time of life over there. Morosa's got 6 kills from his rotations.
Yeah, 6 kills, got the tier 1 as well, level lead now over the Severog, but the big question is, does it matter? Does the Severog actually care about winning the sides? If he has Ella Frost and has those tankier sort of items, he should still be fine sustaining through all of the damage that Morose deals. So all in all, like, it's always good to have the damage onto the Saras, but I think he needs to be there in those fights. I think that's the big takeaway, because Morose is mainly going to be there to just make the life a living nightmare for the Grim that just can't really move when the Saras uses the Colosseum on him. Severog can always use the Colossal Blow to get away, shouldn't be under any danger whatsoever. So I think Morose
sì, il compito di Zarus sarà killare la di carry, perché Severog è un macigno e è impossibile tirare giù.
On the side of Immune as well, their team fighting composition that they have brought to this game certainly is powerful. Wombo combos across the board. No, that big crisis. Not really.
Ma what? Ma voleva prendere Zarus, però ha preso Aurora. Attenzione, perché qua viene catturato Zarus ed è anche disintegrato.
And that was so
sì.
clean. Big shout out to Bondrewd there, hitting the Riftwalker ultimate combo, and just good night from there on out. The CC chain comes through with the subjugate from that Severog as well. Just really smart targeting right there. Know that Morose is a tiny bit out of position, like not even that bad, but they instantly pounce, and I think that's one of those improvements that B-team
in più questo Severog sta farmando come un animale.
So much better as a team. They were always the team that was just, you know, just a tiny bit too disjointed. I think they've really cleaned up the teamwork, and I think they're showing it right here in the grand final.
Showing it on the biggest stage of all as well. You know, opportunistic killers in that regard. You know, they've seen opportunity to saw one onto Morose as well. You know, as we just said, moments before, apologies Morose when he watched this.
Che sta giocando davvero da Dio, sì.
Saying he's one needed to rotate. He's got himself 6 kills, but when you're hit by all of that CC, no amount of kills is going to save you from that one. The B team going to make a bit of a gutsy call here. Going to start up your prime.
Attenzione, qua fanno Prime. Conte in ritardo, non si vede la vita del Prime perché non ce la inquadrano con un giocatore. Fanno telecamera libera, non si capisce tra quanto il Prime viene killato. Attenzione, perché viene preso ancora amoroso fuori posizione. Però qua potrebbe essere, esatto, un bellissimo black hole. Perfetta questa ultimate di Mikey. E viene presa la kill sul jungler. Via. Ottima ultimate anche di Aurora. Presa la kill anche su Lama. Però attenzione, perché Grim fa ancora i super danni, ma è 3-0 per adesso. Probabilmente questo è Prime e non possono nemmeno contestarlo.
Another overstay close to the Prime.
Sì.
I think that's one of the things that cost them a loss.
Ora probabilmente l'obiettivo è il Fangtooth. Oh Dio, tutti hanno preso il portale. Un Narbash volante si è visto.
Learning his lesson, not gonna get caught this time, and now Penguin actually walking in is gonna try to stop the pest flower, but is gonna pay for it with.
Attenzione, quasi killato il Narbash. Non gli interessa tanto il Prime, cura come un matto. Però non hanno Black Hole, non hanno nemmeno la ultimate. Però preso, no, preso dai B-Team. Mamma mia. Sì, è vero che si rimettono quasi tutti, 3 kill prese dall'Immune. Però ottimo steal da parte di Van. Si conferma la regola che perdono i Fangtooth ma vincono i fight.
Because they don't have a singular Fangtooth to their names. All their red buffs, all their blue buffs only last 50% less duration. So a bit of an oopsie there by Immune themselves. Did not get that important objective for them. Primal Fang would have also caused B-Team to just be kind of forced to give up all of their structures on their side. Still a lot of tier 1s and tier 2s to gain. Now B-Team gets a bit of reprieve, but TJ, I think pressing tab, I think we can see those sort of item leads coming out for Immune winning those fights.
Yeah, they're just starting to get some very important breakpoints across the board as we're approaching 28 to 20.
Da una parte hanno le kill, dall'altra parte hanno gli obiettivi. ovvero i Fangbooth.
as well. This seems to be the big member. Morose really stepping up in these moments here, and thankfully for Team Immune fans there watching in Twitch chat is after the exit frags, they did remove Primordial Blaze off of 3 members. It is still going to be on Acid. Those are 2,000 rockets you cannot snuff against. It's going to be pumping out a lot of damage, but for now Immune with the prime up buff just going to get the map a bit more in a favorable state. They don't seem to be grouping up for any particular structure that wants to go down, just kind of laying the
Tanto la dual lane degli Immune va a prendere la torre che ancora non era stata presa, la T1.
It does look like Neft and Penguin at least want to open up the map on the left side a tiny bit, get the tier 1 to their name. Nobody quite there to defend it, so with that prime on their members, they should be able to push down the tier 2 as well. It's B team that needs to be a bit careful. The offlane though, Morose might be a bit caught.
That blast fire did throw Llama back over into the mid ground, but keeping on that mini map because of the left hand side. Morose going to sidestep the smash and grab, going to throw down a Colosseum. He knows he needs to
questo è un black hole.
Mikey, the black hole over top of a Colosseum, then going very low.
Ottima rotation qua da parte di Mikey.
World throws the meteor on him and gets that kill as Team Immune able to take the tier 2 tower.
È vero che è ormai un palazzo.
Yeah, just very disjointed again by B team, not really playing for the left hand side where Immune basically gets 2 structures for free. Instead they try something on that right side.
Preso anche T2 tra l'altro a sinistra da parte della duo degli Immune.
Your support and your mid lane are not even close by. I don't think it's ever a good idea to just flip a fight like that. And Morose again just so far ahead with those kills he has picked up in those team fights. Definitely the hero that Immune needed in this game because he kind of outplays the 1 versus 2.
Siamo al 17 intanto con Severo che è un palazzo.
And securing another kill for Immune.
We're seeing the shades of those really scary team fights come from Immune as well. B team with this front to back composition need to find almost the perfect fight, right? They can't afford to be baited into those narrow jungle corridors, can't afford to be caught out inside of these pits. And as this game goes on, sure, they are the ones picking up the Fangtooth. They are the ones being able to keep up that neutral game here, but we have seen now when we're 30 minutes in, death timers can be so unforgiving here. You cannot afford for any members to be caught out here. A couple more reset lines in the sand are going to be drawn. We look towards the timers, or Prime will be on the menu first and swiftly followed by Primal.
Sì, spawnerà prima il Prime e poi il Primal. Quindi potrebbe essere un trade degli obiettivi oppure cosa che penso succederà, gli Immune cercheranno di prendere entrambi facendo un pick almeno. Attenzione, preso Howitzer, ultato ma ha usato la stasi e poi blinkato. Ultimate per stasi e blink, direi che ce la facciamo andare bene. Soprattutto perché adesso ci sono obiettivi importanti da prendere e non ha disponibile né la stasi né il blink. Sì, è vero che ancora la ultimate, però sì. Sì.
Actually, the Fangtooth sort of being the target for both teams. We see them fighting for vision. Bondrood is in the front line.
Going to be leading the charge towards this pit. Conte has to respect that. They can't afford for either jungler to be caught out. Immune going to concede full control of the opening of the pits to B team as well. Starting to muscle into position as well. Be very, very careful here for both these teams. I'm not really sure which team actually wants to start the fight here. If B team get caught out, they'd be too aggressive. Immune can punish as well, but B team won that awesome opportunity to make the play happen. Conte and Neff get some damage on towards Ven, but they also do not overstay their welcome. They fall back. They do not want to be caught out as 5 members of B team appear seemingly out of nowhere. For these shadows coming out from the mist on that left.
C'è la tensione è molto molto alta. Questo è un fight decisivo.
Blink down now by the Nabash was caught there at least for a second from the subjugate from Llama. Right wave is still pushing into Immune. That's the timer that B team is hoping for now. Penguin caught in the mid lane does not have the blink up.
E potrebbe essere quello di Narbash. È quello di Narbash.
But with that numbers advantage, B team start to
Sì.
move towards the right hand side. They're going to start up the Orb Prime once again, but Immuna's still here. There may be one member down, but they are not going to let this objective go for free. And actually, he's just waiting for it here. Is Bondru looking for a stasis bomb because Amy Fans goes down.
Preso pure Moros qua.
Rose down the Colosseum, jumping on towards 7-1, who doesn't get the kill, and 7-1 with the GTFO takes out Morose in that play, and now B team are going to be buoyed by that. They're going to move up. Llama goes forward, wins on Razorback, Conte's Horfrost into a black hole. The re-engage coming out from Team Immune is immaculate, and their health bars are so low from either team. 3 members of B team escape by the skin of their teeth, and Neff and Conte will live to fight another day, but oh my word, that was tense.
Oh. And with the Narbash not even being there, it was kind of a 2-for-2 in this engagement, and just a bit of an overchase again. They get Morose, they can't just back off. Instead, they overchase into Neft, into Akira. That just spells doom for them. But all in all, still not the worst. We just sort of see cooldowns being traded again, and now Prime being started up by Conte instantly. Kira is there, so is the Narbash. Grim did show on the left-hand side. Bondrewd is on vision as well, but at least can delay Neft for a tiny bit.
Attenzione. Probabilmente sa che ha la lane sinistra pushata e quindi ci prova.
Time because Neff is now here to provide that damage. Country's still watching. It looks like we are just going to simply trade it out though. All Prime going the way of Team Immune, and B team know that they can't really contest that All Prime. They're going to go over to the left hand side, start up that Primal Fang Tooth as well as All Prime goes the way of Dust side. Primal Fang Tooth secured, going over to B team. Pretty classic handshake we see in the top competitive play.
Really classic handshake for sure.
Sì,
but
sì,
also
sì.
just really smart played by B team to keep the Decker there, to keep vision onto the Aurora. No Grux was up to secure that Fang Tooth for themselves. So if Aurora somehow sneaks into the pit, it could be pretty rough. So Bondrewd makes sure he knows where those carries are for Immune.
Bella Tommy, buonasera.
Not gonna be a steal because B team is always gonna be happy
Sì, sì.
trading that.
Probabilmente la partita più bella che abbiamo visto fino ad ora. D'altronde la finale.
It's gonna be just a matter of time until it expires, and B team will still have that Fang Tooth up, also just really strong in those team fights. Meanwhile, that Prime is mainly used to push structures.
Cioè, quando sono pesati tutti il Prime temporale, anche il Primal.
Some regions, but in that entire, in like a 5v5, in like an all.
Però il terzo Primal, cioè il terzo Fangtooth, sì. Sì, sì. La stat permanenti, quindi.
They have 4 members grouping up in the mid lane looking for this tier 2 tower, but without the Prime buffed up minion waves, there's so much wave clear on the side of Immune that they can simply remove any of the minions before they even crash into that tier 2 structure as well. Immune just going to respond that well. Neither team is really wanting to overstep their welcome to us. It's still fishing, so is Conte as well. You have to be careful now for the crisis, and you have to be careful for the flank though, because Morose.
Attenzione, ottima ultimate qua di Morose, che però è un po' isolato. Vediamo la ulti di Mikey, che non si fa attendere, però prende solamente Severo praticamente, invece Aurora va direttamente su Grim. Preso Grim. Fight stravinto dagli Immune adesso. Vediamo se riescono a prendere un'altra kill, ad esempio su Grux, che fa un ottimo dash e knock up di conseguenza. Devono giocare piano perché hanno la regen del Prime. Non devono esagerare. 2 per 3.
Also pushing in, at least Venom gets the Aurora at the back end of the fight. A bit of an overstay, Grux not quite there to help, so it is Morose pouncing, falling for his deeds, but definitely a winning play for Immune. Definitely one they needed in order to defend their base. Now Venom gets pushed in. Howitzer is there to help. Neff does not have the blink up anymore, but Mikey goes in.
For that engage, as it's going to have to go and be chunked out all the way to the right-hand side, but there's no way out for this Howitzer. Ben is still here to try and protect him. Immune decide to let Acid allow him to live just a little bit longer, but they did get the prize they were looking for. That's it. The inhibitor will drop, and now they're going to look to burn that right-hand side. Tier 2 tower going to be the next target.
Yeah, should be getting a bunch of structures, more gold in their pockets. I think we reached the 6 item thresholds on the carries of Immune, surely. It's even reached on Acid on that Howitzer in the mid lane, has 6 items. The supports are also about to have 5 items. So I think now structures are mainly there to bounce waves around. Kills matter, but only in so far that you can secure an objective or you can secure the enemy base with it. Gold doesn't matter too much at this stage of the game, but TJ, what should matter in theory, right? Like if I was looking through it, I would say an 8% bonus to all of your stats is actually pretty good. But now B-Team just has to show me that as well, because they have the Fang Thief. Immune has to fight, in theory, into a disadvantage, but all those fights seem to be going in their favor.
Well, a wise man did say that Prime buff is temporary, free Fangtooth is permanent. I'm the wise guy. I'm the one who said that, and for B-Team, that is something that they can rally behind. They always have that in their back pocket for these fights with 38 minutes. And Tang, I love that you mentioned that about where we are in the game when it comes to items, when it comes to gold. Everyone here is going to be full build. It's not going to matter. All this now comes down to is composition and team play here. And as we're watching both teams look to jockey for position, Tang, what are these late games looking like for both of these teams?
It's just about finding those picks. I think it's anybody can be out of position. Even if it's the Severok, he will still just die in a second against the damage coming out of Kira, coming out of that Gideon as well.
Sì, è vero, concordo.
I think it's mainly about vision control that we're seeing right now, right? Instantly going into the red side as 5, knowing that, okay, Prime is gonna spawn a bit earlier than the Fangtooth is, and we're gonna set a trap. Bait them in, make them come to you and find an easy pick, but Bondroot is prepared.
There's no wards in that side of the jungle for B-Team as well, but they're not falling for the trap importantly. It's these moments that seem to just separate the top tier teams from the rest. It's their discipline in these
moments. Stavolta puntano al Fangtooth.
We're 40 minutes into this game. Primordial Blaze, whoever picks up this Fangtooth objective will get the maximum benefit from that time, duration, stacking of neutral. It is by far and away the most important objective on this map. And I think this is what it all comes down to.
And neither team interested in the Prime. Both teams want to dance around that Primal Fangtooth, just wards being cleared, vision being exchanged, but nothing quite happening yet. Nobody wants to press the trigger first, but I think it
le teamfight sono fenomenali, riescono a combeccare anche... Sì, assolutamente, sono d'accordo. In teamfight l'Immune sono davvero fortissimi.
Otherwise, a minion wave can wreak havoc, especially now that each wave will have 2 siege cannons. They will just shred through those inhibs, and that is definitely what Immune is banking for, because they don't want to press the trigger quite yet either.
Ooh, Venom taking a lot of venom from Neff there on that Kira. Just a couple of crossbow bolts. He was trying to clear the wave in the mid lane, but B-Team just going to respect that. They know there's a slight advantage here for Immune to push up. Ward's going to come down. You have the potential still of
attenzione perché qua forse viene preso Severok. No.
Just said, this Primordial Blaze, this Primal Fangtooth cannot be allowed to go for free here. As both teams are in the jockey for position as well. And this is where we look towards the individual players. We look towards those players to fight, to step up, find that mantle, and find the opportunity. Morose is with the team now. There's not going to be another crazy flank by him. Llama is also just pushed up to the left-hand side, but still is in arms.
Attenzione perché Gideon è in una posizione un po' strana, vediamo. Attenzione.
On his lonesome, he actually takes the pathing towards the pit, and this is where B-Team want to try and capitalize. Going to follow his torn space. He's going to hit the stasis bomb, but the spell shield has been broken. Mikey lives to fight.
Attenzione perché Mike potrebbe aver fatto un gigabait e adesso l'Immune vanno a fare il Fangtooth. Il B-Team però si appresta a fare il Prime. Mamma mia, lo stanno sciogliendo.
10 times out of 10. Now Primal Fangtooth, as we expected, secured by Immune. No steal coming in for Gideon either. So it is gonna be the same old, this time the other way around. This time also Immune is gonna have that buff for the full duration, as you highlighted. With the first Fangtooth, it also grants them those extra durations for those buffs. So that is gonna come in clutch. Talking about coming in clutch, Bondroot still gonna
keep comunque la bolla
needs to be careful, because the red side instantly belongs to Immune.
They have complete control of it as well, and it was just a very nice stasis bomb coming out from Bondroot as well.
L'inibitore del B-Team è rinato in questo momento, quindi non hanno più super minion di vantaggio l'Immune.
They've already got cleanses, and now they have just that one bubble of protection as well that could be the difference in a lot of these fights. 43 minutes on the clock. what a start to this grand finals as well. Both teams are jockeying for position. It's been a
43 minuti di match, sì.
team in control, Immune getting it back. B team, that steal from Ven to just completely turn this game on.
Secondo me chi vince questo match dà una bella botta all'avversario, perché dopo 40 e passa minuti di game, di un match così alla pari, perderlo è una bella botta psicologica.
And Conte wants to show it, uses the wall to at least threaten something, force B team back a tiny bit from that wave. It's gonna make sure that Neft is safe as well in the mid lane. Now we see just waves being contested, neither team really wanting to fight, but TJ, honestly, like, gold lead doesn't matter, right? We talked about this. Pretty much everyone full build. Llama though in the front line, don't get caught.
Lama's gotta be careful, he is hit by a one stun by Morose, but Lama's currently walled off away from his...
Attenzione che qua Severog viene preso. Però Severog preso, vediamo se riescono. Bellissima ulti, ennesima ulti della Madonna di Mikey. 3x1, 3x4. Grazie mille Best Dada 23 per il follow, thank you. Ed è game questo. Questo è game. 80 secondi, 75, 76 direi che è game questo.
Not enough for B team, especially if they have to face this Immune that just always finds those angles. Morose always finds the Colosseum to just finish off the dreams and hopes that B team had for this game. Mikey and Sarah is definitely the two MVPs for me in this game, and they're just gonna clear up this core. Death timer still for B team. Game 1 for Immune.
He would be forgiven for thinking in that moment already, trying to
Mikey.
Holy,
niente male.
4 minutes 53 seconds. This is just what happens.
Risultato. Scegli il risultato. Immune. Vedere che facciamo un bel sondaggino, raga. MVP. Gideon. Gideon. Per cosa mettere? Varus. Devo dire che anche di là hanno giocato bene. Di là direi che ci metto Severog, che comunque ha fatto una bella partita. Perché posso mettere Brooks anche ha fatto una bella partita. E Aurora, dai. 10 minuti, votate l'MVP.
Probably stronger on lane, probably can get a few advantages there, but in the late game, in those team fights, I think Immune is just completely on point, and they showed it in this game.
Conte just splitting off that fight, able to pull apart Llama, pull Ven away from his composition and just watch that collapse come through. That is going to be quite the game to look forward to on the review, but already
se io voto Mikey perché ha fatto le ulti, cioè non ha sbagliato una ulti, cioè perfette. E l'ultima poi ha fatto vincere il fight.
Ammazza.
No, cosa? No, non volevo assolutamente. It's fine. No, ho il volume troppo alto. Aspetta, Si è resettato tutto, maledetto crash. È partito il sound di Maruko, porca miseria. Arrivo ora solo per chiedere com'è andata, poi devo scappare. Primo game su 5 vinto dagli Immune. Mi raccomando, scappa prima che ti ganchi la moglie, che altrimenti non voglio averti sulla coscienza, ecco. Tra l'altro inizia la finale, mi crasha il PC. Cinque game, sì, best of 5. Eccolo, ormai schiavizzato da Excel alfiere. Piscariello chi era di oro? Era Severo. Grazie mille Tommy Blake per il follow, thank you. 543, mancano 7 follower ai 550. 7. Bella Tommy, benvenuto. Grazie mille Steve Beat per il follow, thank you. 6 follower ai 550. 6. Esatto Steve, 6. Thank you. Benvenuto. Ma che cavolo di conaio usa? Raging Wolf Hell, ma che cos'è?
45 minute.
Ah.
That's what I'm talking about. Now this is a grand finals level
Per quanto?
matchup. It's Team Immune versus B Team. Team Immune is up 1-0.
Io non l'ho avuto però.
How do we even start to break this down? I don't even know. But Mugi, I guess you can attempt.
Ma non me l'ha dato.
Overall,
Credo
after
avevo.
watching the two drafts,
Ci guarderò.
I was like expecting a great match because two drafts were kind of different, but both had tools to be able to play against the enemy team, and we kind of see that like the early game.
Appena guardato il video su Mario devo provare gli oggetti che consigli e ne sto usando altri. Ma in realtà quel video è stato il primo che ho fatto prima della grande patch degli oggetti, e quindi in realtà quegli oggetti che ho consigliato non vanno più bene. Quindi evita. Se vuoi, dai, in 3 secondi ti faccio la build di Marduk. Arrivo, Andiamo su Meda City. Tanto che questi commentano. Fammi vedere. Sì, assolutamente. Te la faccio immediata subito.
Where like sometimes B team was starting to spread away and Immune were just like, no, it's time to chase and get those kills.
Wow. Yeah, one of the things that I've noticed is that we haven't seen a lot, at least yesterday and today, is a lot of handshakes for, you know, those neutral big objectives. And we saw a lot of that going on in that first match. What do you think about that, Malix?
I do get the idea that you want a handshake, but at some point is also, you got a question, is the handshake the best thing you can do? Because as we saw, they gave over 2 primals for the prime for Team B, that they just keep taking these primals, but it didn't really help.
Fammi vedere. Tipo così.
It comes down to like their comp doesn't really function in the best way in the 5v5 because they have mostly single target damage, and when they also have the Narvas to negate the damage, I can see that them getting that can be the ideal thing because you get that extra combat power, but I'm not really a fan of it. I think it's better to try to
Ti metto come ultimo oggetto.
One of the objectives rather than trading the objectives.
Forse così.
That's very interesting. It kind of came to fruition with B Team securing a lot of those Fang Teeth, but they weren't able to finish the game. Tang, I know he's freaking out about that one because he, you know, he was talking about it yesterday. But we have a game 2 just about to go underway. We're going to jump into the draft and see if they were able to learn a little bit about what they just faced. B Team is going to be the first pick this time around. So let's see what types of bans they're going to go for. Are they going to ban the Xerath? Are they going to ban or like target ban Immune?
Arriva,
We'll find out. Mugi, what do you think?
To be honest, like I feel like they managed the Zarus okay-ish, and even though like he was dying quickly in teamfight, it was still like the one creating a lot of opportunities. But we're gonna remove the
Così
Murloc,
dovrebbe essere ok, fammi vedere.
I would expect Immune to leave the Grim open. They don't really want to remove it.
No,
Overall,
non so se hanno cambiato. No, Dread e Draconum sono ancora buoni per counterare danno fisico e danno magico.
Like first picking that Zarus, they don't want to leave it to B Team. Ti
consiglierei questa build io adesso in questo momento. Poi al posto di Kingsbane puoi guardarci te. Comunque generalmente metti sempre Sky Splitter, Stormbreaker e Demolisher. Poi dopo gli altri, dopo guardaci un po' te cosa mettere.
that Grux being the first pick, but I just felt that Mikey had such a good performance. I don't see why they wouldn't want to run it back, but they might
I primi 3 oggetti, diciamo, sono quasi sempre quelli. Gli altri 3 poi guardaci un po' te. Però in linea generale è buona quella build lì. La build di... allora diciamo il video di Mardo e il video di Serat sono stati fatti prima della grande patch. Tutti gli altri invece sono abbastanza attuali. Poi vabbè, il meta cambia sempre, quindi in realtà le build cambiano sempre. Va bene, va bene. A più tardi. Ciao ciao. Allora, bannato Muriel, bannato Zarus, preso Green, Gideon, Quang, porca miseria, Grux, Aurora e Iggy da parte dell'Immune. Ok. Ah, giusto, nel caso vogliate, ho un Telegram privato, ovviamente ci si può entrare gratuitamente, non c'è nessun problema. E lì potete chiedermi build, potete vedere l'anteprima dei video, potete vedere quando vado in live, cosa faccio in live, se volete unirvi per giocare in live con me sia su Twitch che sul tubo. E niente, se volete entrare è gratuito. Inoltre vi linko anche il Discord della community italiana di Predecessor, ovvero Predecessor Italia, lì trovate gente con cui giocare. Potete trovare consigli e tutte le news, si fanno delle custom alla sera anche, stiamo testando. Perché non è andato? Perché non si farà scrivere? Sto scrivendo con... Allora. Porca miseria. Ok, eccolo qua. Lo posto anche sul tubo nel caso. Eccolo qua.
I know that Wraith can struggle into tanks and those more beefier kind of picks, so we'll see if this works out for them or if this is going to be a backfiring for Immune here.
Sono unito a Telegram adesso, molto bene. Grazie da qualche giorno alla community Discord, molto molto bene, molto molto bene. Allora, intanto vediamo la team comp dei B-Team. Che è niente male, niente male. Mentre di là, anche di là niente male. Quel Wright non mi convince, però abbiamo visto Neft fare le magie con Wright. E quindi vediamo. Abbiamo un pronostico. Chi vincerà la seconda partita? Immune oppure Team? Avete 5 minuti per bettare. Aperte le bette, via. Questi sono i top europei. Sì, sono i primi 2 team europei di questo torneo. Tanto vediamo che l'MVP l'ha vinto il buon Gideon.
I do foresee a Miss Meadow Buckler in the future for Grux possibly, but we're just gonna have to see. This is game 2 with B team up against Immune. Let's jump on into it. TJ and Tang, take it away.
Oh boy, thank you so much.
Eccoci qua.
Everyone here has been able to catch their breath, you know, maybe stretch their legs, go touch some grass. I know I definitely had to do that.
Tra l'altro non so se lo sapete per quelli che sono in chat, ma nell'Immune gioca anche un ragazzo italiano, il jungler Conte. E niente, quindi personalmente tifo per l'Immune anche per questo motivo, oltre al fatto che l'Immune hanno il mio player preferito di sempre, che è Neft, ovviamente dopo Conte. Wink wink.
at least in
E quindi avrei tifato comunque Immune.
On that Iggy, I think that's why it's just a perfect matchup to talk about, because that's the matchup in this game as well. And I think especially for Mikey, on that Iggy hero, he has been a menace, just absolutely running the game, absolutely just, you know, like as an Iggy, you're never super flashy, but you're always dealing the damage. You're always there for those objectives. You're always there in those team fights. And I think that is one of the reasons why Immune is so strong in them, because Mikey just spaces correctly and most of them just has the damage where he has to for his team.
Conte sarebbe Conte Iacolo su Discord? Yes, proprio lui, esattamente, sì.
And that's why I think for this game, I think we are gonna have to, we're gonna see a treat in that mid lane.
Of course, man. I don't know, just this Iggy and Scorch just rising up throughout the competitive meta here in the game, in this tournament as well.
Non sapevo fosse un pro player. Sì, è un player competitivo di Predecessor, lo era anche di Paragon di Overprime. Rank 1 di Paragon di Overprime, e poi adesso da qualche mese che gioca a Pred e si è dato anche lui al competitive. Il team Immune, che era uno dei top team, lo ha voluto come jungler, lo ha provato, gli è andato bene e ha continuato. Adesso saranno 2 mesetti che giocano insieme e nonostante siano pochi mesi, cioè un paio di mesi, comunque si trovano da Dio. Anche Paragon G ha giocato forse un torneo con un team italiano, ma niente di troppo serio, era comunque fortissimo anche su Paragon OG.
Now it is a bit flipped, right? Steel Ultimate, the Gideon Black Hole, they do have their own easy triggers to press. It's not as hard as it was the game before.
Aurora giungla, sì, avremo Aurora giungla, avremo Grux solo, Iggy mid, Decker, support e Wright AD carry per quanto riguarda l'Immune. Per quanto riguarda invece B-Team avremo Grim AD carry, FaZe support, Gideon mid e Steel giungla, interessante, e Quang in solo lane.
Mikey's feeling good about this one. Maybe we can get another Blink ultimate play on broadcast as well as what we saw in that semi-final matchup as well. But I think a big thing that I want to pick your brain about, Tangno, is going to be the overall B team composition. It's not the first time we have seen a predominantly magic-based damage comp, and from what we've seen in the semi-finals, that has come back to bite whoever drafts it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good point that Mugi brought up on the desk, right? Like with that Aurora being able to buy so much space, now also only having to buy those magical resistance items is gonna make it sort of a pain to chew through for the side.
Sapete, giocano 60 fps o più? No, sicuramente di più. Sono tutti da PC, sicuramente di più. Penso almeno 144 fps. Almeno. Io penso che Neft giochi 240 più o meno. Conte mi pare 144, gli altri non ho idea, ma almeno 144 ci giocano.
The Steel jungle come out as well, a little bit of a pocket pick from Envenom as well, and Steel just hasn't really had that much success in
sì, sì. Se vuoi giocare ad alti livelli è difficile giocare a 60 fps, per carità, non impossibile, però molto difficile.
And Neft is going to try to keep that up. Now Conte is going for a bit of a cheeky invade onto the Steel. It's going to check out that 5 camp. Also knows where Venom is, shadows his dual lane at the same time. Venom knows though something is happening.
Yeah, but there's not really much that Venom can do about it. He is half HP. He's going to take that free camp to the right, the red buff here. And just really good heads up play coming from Team Immune with that pressure in dual lane, allowing them to get the full invade off. Ven has to be so careful here, because here come the members starting to flood round. And it looks like Neff actually grabbed that last camp as well. Ven, that's gotta hurt.
Bellissima comunque questa rotation da parte della duo, questo invade da parte di Aurora e questo seguito anche di Iggy. Ha rubato un campetto e mezzo perché l'altro minion l'ha preso Neft. Come sono messi a games? Secondo game di 5 della finale. Il primo game hanno vinto gli Immune. Se tu che muovi la cam, la loro regia.
going to try and check through that red side jungle, see if he can get anything, but Conte already cleared that side as well. And now Ven, if he can't farm the jungle, maybe he can start.
Devo dire comunque che nonostante... vediamo qua Morose se ci lascia. È dura, probabilmente blinka. Vediamo. Sì. Di niente, figurati. Devo dire che comunque, nonostante il... però qua fightano sempre, che cavolo. Oh, bellissimo questo gank di Conte. Blink probabilmente sprecato da Bondrew perché morirà, vediamo. È così. Presa la kill su Bondrew da parte di Conte. Dicevo, nonostante il replay system sia acerbo e quindi i comandi facciano abbastanza cacare, la regia devo ammettere che sta migliorando sempre di più e non mi dispiace. Nei primi match aveva delle pecche, diciamo, però sta migliorando molto, secondo me. Anche perché, come vi ho detto, non è semplice, dato che il replay system è ancora acerbo. Blink preso su Iggy qua. Oddio, si è sentito la canzoncina del recall di Iggy. Perché non dire... Perché... No, non ho capito. Per non dire schifo? Perché per non dire schifo? Ah, sì. Ah, ok, sì. Inizialmente... Sì, non era granché, però sta migliorando, ammetto che sta migliorando. Ha fatto delle inquadrature interessanti anche negli scorsi match. Ci sta, bisogna fare un po' di pratica e poi soprattutto, ripeto, il replay system ha dei comandi, regà, che l'ho provato e... Ok, è acerbo, devono migliorare tantissimo, cioè non è facile.
But again, really smart gameplay coming out from Immune, using their strong laners to force out the Venom in the jungle that did have a really good game last time, but this time doesn't seem to go his way.
Be careful though. The rotation could still come out from Tazid, but Conte just...
Vediamo questo gank di Conte. Probabilmente ancora il blink lama. Vediamo, ottimo questo... Questa spada. Qua probabilmente lo perdono il 2v2, eh.
Comes Ven, the ball rush comes down, but a good crush from Morose. He able to get distance, but Conte still dealing with a Cyan buff here, and it's now B team caught between two members, and Mikey on the way as well. Conte, the glacial charge comes down. Here comes Mikey looking for the black hole as well.
Qua però non ce l'ha. Non ce l'ha il blink. Morose si lascia. Chissà quando il gioco uscirà dalla beta. No, non si sa. Non si ha una data precisa ancora.
For Mikey, if he cancelled his own ultimate a tiny microsecond earlier, he could have knocked two of the B team members into his own tower, might have gotten a kill for his troubles as well. Now, as it stands, it's just Morose having to pay for his jungler's sort of transgressions. Did wait a bit too long for the Iggy to come, and once he did, it's only an Iggy.
Fa morire che si sente il recall della... di Mikey, porca miseria. Quella sorta di suono alieno, diciamo, dell'UFO. È un effetto di recall, ovvero quando va in base, che si può acquistare nello shop e c'è la Mikey. E evidentemente il replay system è un po' buggato e quindi si sente sempre quando recolla.
Every single camp is basically having to go for the discount, like Audi kind of jungle clear. Right? Everything is a much lower price for him. He's just not able to get just as much gold here. The game plan does seem to be working for the side of Team Immune, but Ben just still able to leverage what that steel can bring to the fight. Sure, doesn't have the quickest clear, but he still brings a heck of a lot of CC. Team Immune.
Attenzione perché qua gli immune vanno a prendere senza troppa fatica il Fentut con Iggy. Pubblicità occulta, dici? Ah, può essere, può essere. Vediamo, ultimate. Qua probabilmente ci lascia Phase, è così. Però ci lascia anche Conte. Invece no, invece sì. Ottima questa ultimate. di Steel che ha fatto un contro gank niente male, niente male.
At least fast enough.
Tu
The
sei
level 6
occulto.
is fast enough for Steel to get the shield slam to force out the Decker blink. At least one cooldown traded up for the side of B team. In total traded 1-for-1 jungler for support. Not the end of the world for either team. Neft again only getting us an assist. Must sting a tiny bit for him. But again, not the worst whatsoever. Gonna be another kill attempt onto 7. Forced to blink away. Venom though in the vicinity is still looking.
He's waiting in the wings, knows Penguin does not have the GTFO challenge and Penguin
presa la kill. Attenzione che qua Neft va a prendersi la kill su... non ce la fa però. Va a prendere la kill su Green, però non ce la fa poi a scappare. Però vabbè, era già morto lì, quindi... si è presa la kill.
Neft uses everything, tower dives, plays like a hero, but in the end just a 1-for-1, nothing get lost there for B team whatsoever. Also no big wave for 7 to lose. So Fangtooth still secured for immune, but kills have been going B team's way slowly but surely. Venom has been showing a few signs of life himself in the jungle role after that level 6. Steel just also can clear a lot faster as well, having those items.
You know, he's going to feel so good for Ven, but he just really understood the assignments here. Morose just going to bump into Llama on the right hand side. Mini Prime going to be the target.
Iggy fa l'Iggy e si va anche a prendere il Mini Prime. Ok, qua è una bella sberla su Mikey. Ultimate, doppio blink.
By Conte as well, but he's trying to keep it on himself. He's trying to keep himself alive. The crisis will come down. Roots up on towards Ben, but Conte's life
peccato.
he goes down. Nothing Penguin can do to
Sprecato questo Mini Prime. Prese delle belle kill da parte del B team.
Take 3 members. They also get rid of that mini prime on the side.
Sì, è best of 5.
All in all, really nice team fighting by TB team. I'm not sure
questa finale. Quindi sì, 5 partite. Per ora se ne sono giocate una, questa è la seconda. La prima partita l'hanno vinta l'Immune e adesso vedremo questa. Comunque il B team gioca davvero bene. Mi sta sorprendendo e non poco. Davvero davvero bene sta giocando.
Penguin on this deck has been bringing that in spades for sure with that rotation over to the right hand side. Neff is kind of dealing with the range from 7-1 on that Grim down to half HP. Does not have the Decker. The B team not pushing this advantage. Is trying to get a bit of a slow push and freeze this wave, forcing Neff out.
Vabbè raga, vado a cena alla prossima. Grazie per la video unico. Niente, non ti preoccupare. Buona cena, ci becchiamo alla prossima. Questo giro Steel che sta giocando molto bene. Sì, Steel ha fatto delle belle play. Bei counter gank.
Well, you know, there's going to be a lot of jumping around, but this House of Pain is very quickly going to be returning in towards this mid lane, in towards this game as well. We have a little bit of a lull in the action, which we don't call very often. I mean, Llama's not in a very good situation here. Conte didn't take away that free camp. Now Llama in a box.
Che cazzo succede? Siamo diventati Gesù Cristo.
Addirittura.
Just avoids it. Conte actually misses that crisis, and with the surge, Llama's able to get towards the mid lane, but Mikey's try and head him off. They really want the pick on.
Vediamola qua la pick su Lama. Presa. Attenzione perché qua vogliono prendere la kill. Intanto la di là Neft si prende la kill su... ulti sbagliatissima qua di Steel. Dicevo Neft si è presa la kill su Grim. Preso anche Gideon, vediamo. Preso il portale! Mamma mia! Che giocata che stava per fare Conte. Preso il portale, a momenti si prende la kill. E intanto la duo si fa...
doesn't stop. We just see it over and over again, and in the end Llama escaped for so long until he just doesn't, and then the rest of the members also.
Attenzione perché qua è vero che hanno preso il Fentut, però Neft rischia di perire come il suo support, però invece ce la fa. Oh, invece no.
Llama actually catches onto Neft, blink away, saves him. Basic attack not connecting on that Quang. And that means he gets away with murder, and the murder is off that Fangtooth because the second one was claimed from you.
Oh my word, I looked away from the screen for one moment and Llama just jump scares me. Probably like he jump scared Penguin on that duo lane as well, catching him out. But as you said, Tang, it means still able to take that Fangtooth play. This game starting to fall into chaos here. We're starting to get that clown music on the horizon going. You all know that song as well. We do not want to get the MCA takedown just yet on the VOD. So I'll let your guys' imagination kind of fill in the blanks for this one. A team's going to relax here. I don't know, man. I called a lull, and hey, I got a Clown Fiesta.
Yeah, Clown Fiesta for sure, but I think the Clown Fiesta is going in favor of Immune. They find the picks on the left, they find the picks on the right, they find the Fangtooth as well, and B team did get a few frags before, still up in carries, but if they don't get any of those objectives, it's looking like...
Sei un maestro del posizionamento, assolutamente sì. Però ha bruciato il blink, quindi... deve stare molto più attento adesso.
Just tanking so much pressure to 1 and 2, but has been finding those CS even when playing 1 versus 2. When Penguin was making those rotations, did find that 2v2 kill just before as well with the tower dive. Now again, Aurora in the vicinity.
Morose qua lo distrugge.
All over him as well. Solo Bowler Morose gets some revenge from that first game, taking down Llama. Conte still here on the left-hand side. The B team, man opportunity here. Ben's gonna bump into Conte, but 2v2 has started. 7-1.
Attenzione perché c'è Conte che sta fightando insieme a Iggy. Presa la kill su Penguin da parte di 7-1, ovvero Grim. Attenzione perché vediamo adesso. Neft qua si lascia. Si lascia pure Iggy. Giocata molto bene qua dai B team, che si prendono 3 kill per 0.
Morose on the right hand wave is just unleashed, getting the solo kill onto Llama, grants him so much gold, grants him the tier 2 almost. The tier 1 grants him almost the tier 2 as well. Llama is doing his best to defend on the right side, and while left side is getting pushed down by 7. Grux should be able to just walk it off though. Llama just so far behind this Grux at this stage, and honestly, DJ, it's almost a crime we haven't mentioned it so far. Morose doing his best Grux cosplay in real life, doing his best as the Grux in the game, just absolutely smurfing on his most signature pick, winning the 1v1 against Llama.
I have to imagine as well, there's just like an emergency break glass whenever Morose needed a Grux. He just puts on the cosplay, get himself in the game, get him in the zone to be channeling that Grux energy, and there is a reason that Morose, this, as you said, this is his signature pick. He's lighting up that solo lane as well. Llama has also had a really strong
questo è il mini prime qua iniziato dai B team e sciolto in poco tempo, quindi preso.
Team now have the numbers, but they are going to looks like Tacit resets. Dual lane going to go in towards this mid lane, try and get down this mid tier 1 tower and open up the map a little bit more. But on the left hand side, Neft's getting solo XP, and Neft's going to get a solo tier 1 tower as well.
Gets the solo tower. On the flip side, 7-1 gets the mini prime gifted to himself, but I think Neft has been pretty stellar in this game on that Wraith, showing why when you hit those abilities, Wraith is just one of those heroes that you can never count out, especially when it's in the hands of Neft. Now, even with 7-1,
attenzione che perché tra un po' c'è il terzo Fentut e quello sarà importantissimo.
Mikey can defend it pretty easily, having those turrets, having that stasis with that orb prime. This Iggy is not easy to be dived whatsoever, so we just see Venom hover around that Grim, but Grim just has to catch waves, can't really do anything corrective with that mini prime.
And it is just going to be one of those things where if the mini prime is not on a jungler, right, who has the easiest avenue to impact these lanes, push a wave on the tower, secure a tier 1, giving it over to your ADC.
Qua ci sarà un bel fight. Attenzione, preso Conte. Attenzione che Conte ha... perso un'ottima ulti qua di... doppia ulti di Gideon, ulti anche di Steel. Presa la kill su Grux. 1 per 1.
Throwing mollies over the wall. The Fangtooth will be started by B team. They can't allow Immune to take this one, but Crisis has fallen as well. There's no one else. Yes, Crisis has just been used. Going to trigger down on towards Fennec. Can take down the jungle. This will be a very easy secure for Team Immune, but it looks like B team looking a bit more healthy. Tassid boxing out Neft on the right hand side. Bondred 7-1 the duo lane, keeping the members away. That Fangtooth still hasn't got down. Tassid blinks forward, looking to roll.
Qua si prende la seconda kill. Green. E il Fangtooth va in favore dei B team.
And what an important Fangtooth that one is as well. Make sure that Immune doesn't get the 3 Fangtooth Mounty quite yet. B team secure the first one of the game for themselves, and I think it's mainly due to Mikey not being able to set up in that choke correctly, with Morose getting caught out together with Conte there tiny bit beforehand, so Iggy doesn't have much damage. I think the fighting was very split. Quang on one side, so was Morose. In the end, both of the offlaners going down, and then it was just a fist fight. And you know what? In a fist fight, don't mess with Steve. Don't mess with the Steel, because he just has bigger hands, and he proves it again in this fight. Does go down at the end, but at least his team manages.
Diciamo che la ultimate di Gideon e la ultimate di Steel qua l'hanno fatta da padrona. Probabilmente qua ci lascia Decker, e invece no, perché arriva Morose che cerca di salvare la situazione. Probabilmente prende il blink di Bondred.
Now, but Mikey, the next target, will epoch out the GTFO, and also having to burn his blink. 2 massive cooldowns on towards the Team Immune mid laner, as tier 1 tower going to be the next target. Conte up towards the top rope. He's going to wall off half here, but it's not going to be enough. He doesn't have the distance in the wall to quite separate that entire lane. B team finally take down the tier 1 in mid.
They get the tier 1. That's all the tier 1s down on the map, but it is Immune actually having a lot of damage on that right hand tier 2, with Grux sort of running the Quang at this stage of the game.
Anche questa che partita, raga.
The power coming out of Morose, actually.
Continui ribaltamenti di fronte.
In the mid lane. It was actually still up for B team, but should fall any second now. Just too much damage coming out of the carry players of Immune, and that means all the standing gold for now has been claimed. Tier 2s are going to be the next targets, but I think even before that, we do see that Prime is up, that Fangtooth has been claimed the third one, but Primal is also going to spawn in a bit. Venom in the mid lane might be caught up.
He's got to be really careful here. Thankfully, he has a tether from his portable phase as well, able to pull him out of danger and not allow either of these junglers to be picked up just yet. A displacement orb just tags onto
Attenzione. Questa è un'ottima giocata. E viene preso Mikey.
Where did you come from? Able to take down the mid laner. And now look at B team. Flood members forward. They want Penguin. They want Neft as well, but it's just too much distance here. What could B team do with it? Torn spacing the entire team forward, all aboard.
Il B team sta giocando davvero molto bene, molto bene. Adesso c'è il Prime ed è stato piccato Mikey. Qua un bel casino. Sì, perché Morose sta menando come un fabbro. Qua ci lascia Neft.
All hot is home, and that means the Ven is able to take off the AD carry. Morose wanting to re-engage. Epoch comes down onto Tassid to block away.
Attenzione perché qua potrebbe... non ce la fa però. Potrebbe prendere Steel, ma non ce la fa Conte, anzi ci rimette la vita, quindi... Ai ai ai, qua il B-Team sta giocando davvero molto meglio come teamfight,
with actually Immune splitting up, Neft being left alone while the Decker is looking for those exit frags. It's actually Neft is actually the one getting caught. Easy pickups for the steal together with the Gideon. Now, teamfight won by B team, but what do they get off the back of it? It's not a structure, it's not any objectives, because it's only a bit more gold in their pocket. It shows them that they can still win those team fights in those later stages of the game. A bit of an overchase. I think the right tier 2 actually went down in the process, but I think it's a decent work in concept, because in the previous game it was B team securing all of those objectives, but the team fighting is where they struggled. I hope in this one it's going to be a different story. B team 16 to 10, a bit up in kills, but now we have a bit of an overview. We see Primus spawn and we see both teams contesting for vision.
You really see the positioning from both these teams as well, as Team Immune have got the priority. They have a way in towards the pit. Llama over towards the left-hand side has been finding some important flanks for B team, and they have been playing around that Quang so well, and so is Morose as well. Honestly, these solo laners are playing lights out, exactly what their team needs. But with the third Fangtooth spawning, Immune know that they want to contest this one. They have to start this one up, and B team not going to give this one away for free. It's going to be Primal as well. This will be a massive one. Conte actually walls off Llama from the rest of his team. They're trying to burn down the Quang.
Attenzione.
Drops down from the Shadow Curtain. Llama goes in with a Fury.
Potrebbe lasciarci signor Lama, però ha fatto tantissimi danni.
But Neff just has the DPS. GTFO channels onto Penguin, and it's just going to be Conte who blocks it now, but they have got one priority to pick. Neff is too low. Conte goes in with the crisis and towards 3 members of Shield Slam. The Black Hole
però Black Hole
wanted to turn us in the narrow river corridor.
ci lascia anche Morose. È un problema quel Black Hole. Con la ulti di Gideon è un problema.
Nest might not quite be done yet. Actually, no, he just wants those minions, but it's always Wraith on the map means danger, especially if you want a lazy back. In the end, 2 for 1. It is B team coming out ahead. Quang's being zoned away from the rest of his teams. He thinks not a problem whatsoever. He tries to go for the kill onto Neff. Not quite enough with 2 more members to help him. But then it is Morose and Mikey. Actually, Morose and Conte being a bit too ambitious, trying to do the same, but they fall down. Now Grim does not have his blink up anymore for this fight. I think that's important. No blinks at all for any.
Attenzione perché potrebbero tradare questo Orb Prime con il Fangtooth. Probabilmente no, non lo vogliono tradare, ma non penso arrivino in tempo, sai. Immune, vediamo. Forse sì.
One objective steal in game number 1. Could we get a second? Conte needs to get in towards the pit.
Qua è male.
Prime now, if he can take down Conte, this will give them Primal as well. But a good glacial charge, able to get Conte away. And now B team, will they make the beeline towards that objective?
Non me lo aspettavo per nulla comunque. Non me lo aspettavo per nulla. I B team stanno giocando davvero da Dio.
Definitely does look that way. Decent wards coming out from Immune, but they need to be careful. They can't be caught again. They need to play the fights like they did in the first game, not over chase, play around Neff. The Wraith has a lot of damage in these fights. Does look like Venom is looking for Mikey.
Mikey's got to be careful here. Shield Slam comes down. Mikey blinks to safety, but that is going to be one cooldown burned on the mid laner for Team Immune. Once again, 5 members of B team still around. Blast Flower gets Llama in towards the pits to deny an easy way in for Immune. It looks like Conte will have to use that glacial charge to go over the wall should they wish to take it here. B team drop down to position, but some good warding. They're trying to get Immune to fight in the river. They're trying to get him into the narrow corridors where they know they can catch
questo fight è fondamentale.
They completely lit up this place like a Christmas tree. Immune are just not biting.
Immune is not biting whatsoever, and it's smart of them. They want to fight in those small chokes, but they can also just wait out that prime. With that Aurora being the frontline on Conte, you can always make sure that one of the B team members is isolated by using that wall. Now actually goes a bit aggressive towards 7. It's just gonna bait it. It's just gonna force their hands. They're losing minions on the right hand side. They're losing the tier 2, and Venom instantly goes for the Fangtooth.
Time bomb has been ticking, and B team are going to force Immune to make the call. the contesters, but what will it cost as Conte is the one who's furthest forward here. He's going to be hit by a tether. Conte having to use the glacial charge getaways. The minions will take on the right hand side. Ven looking for a way in, but so is Morose.
Adesso Conte è costretto a ritirarsi.
For either team looking for an angle. Morose the closest to it, but B team simply start the Fangtooth move away, start it, move away, trying to bait Immune in. They want Morose to overstep. They want Mikey to show a little bit too much here. So does Immune, right? They want these members to group in because Conte Coolers are going to wall off Ven and going to wall off.
Ottimo questo wall da parte di Aurora. Andare a chiudere il team dei B team. Il team dei B team. Attenzione però qua ci lascia Conte. E probabilmente ci lascia anche Morose. Ottima kill. Presa da Neft, probabilmente ne prende un'altra, no? Sì, eccola qua.
They turned the fight around, and I like what B team was doing now, but I don't like the execution because they had the
Attenzione perché
pushing this entire time, and then they still
stanno per perdere il core.
Force the engage by Immune and get an inhib.
Gli Immune.
Don't get the win, and now Venom might be caught. Neft is going for the engage. Bull rush away by Venom, and Snipe just barely not connecting. Penguin tries it with another one. It's gonna hit the stun, actually force the blink away by Steel. But again, as I said, right wave inhib is down. A lot of core damage now on the core of Immune. B team loses the team fight though.
But it's setting them up for maybe a later gameplay as well. Immune looks like they knew they were safe. They knew the mini wave would not take down the core. Those winions would not result in this grand final going to one game apiece. Still in it here, but that core dropping to 56% though. Means they just cannot afford to
dura, eh.
Something that Immune need to keep in the back of their minds.
Adesso questo Prime questo Primal, ecco, è molto difficile da contestare. Come sempre il Black Hole determinante.
Morose can't get out of the pit. He's stuck between the torn space and it's not able to get out. Massive collapse comes through from B team. Neft is still there. Taz is going to blink.
Ci lascia anche Mikey.
Gets the kill to Mikey, but Neft takes him down one. Now Ben's got to be careful. Can't afford to show himself on the map because Neft still has a knock, still has damage in his kit. And Ben is going to drop. Conte is still alive, but he's dealing with the minion waves. Now Neft is caught on his bones, so going to be rooted up by the energy lands. Containment fence goes down. He will go invisible and try and give them the run around. He's going to be spotted in the river, perhaps. Oh my word, no, Neft! Has he just got away with that?
He got away, and the Iggy turrets actually get 2 kills on the back end of the fight because they chase into Mikey, they chase into their own doom. Steel and Gideon, both of them go down at the back end of the fight as well. So a fight that was very B-team favored actually ends up being just a bit more mediocre than they were hoping for. Still, 3 members of them staying alive. They get 3 members of the enemy team. Fangtooth, importantly, has not been claimed by either team in this prolonged exchange. And I think most of this fighting came about because Wraith was actually catching the right wave with it, being super minions with it, just permanently shoving into the base of Immune. They just had to send Nefta to catch it, and B team instantly started up the Fangtooth. Now, it is the Prime being started by B team, and that should give Immune, interestingly enough, just a free Fangtooth again.
Ooh.
Question mark coming in.
It's going to be this one decision that maybe that might come back to haunt B team. They are shredding through this Prime. It's going to be taken, but Prime or Fangtooth has already been
3 Fangtooth per gli Immune. È vero che hanno perso il Prime, però Mikey no,
It looks like BT no want to make them pay as the shield sign comes down. Mikey's epoch buys some time. Llama hits him with a tether. They're focusing so much on towards Mikey as an iron strike comes out from the Decker. Going to disengage. That's it. Goes for the black hole play on towards Penguin. But now that it's a black hole out and Mikey's still
attenzione!
Sid gets caught out. What were you doing, man? And now it looks like Immune wants to collapse. Pile on.
Mamma mia, ma questo era un fight perso dagli Immune invece.
So much.
E invece ha giocato splendidamente.
Might have just given Team Immune the keys to their base, and it looks like Immune are gonna pounce.
Big question marks. Gifting Immune the Primal Fangtooth into wanting to fight into said buff is very questionable at best, and just gives Immune, as you highlighted, the tier 2 for free. The inhib is also not going to be able to be defended. Now the question is, can the core be 4 members pushing down? It's going to be 3 versus 4.
Questo potrebbe essere game, vediamo. Bellissimo questo muro. Vediamo, no. È la fine.
On towards Neff. They've also taken down Penguin. I criticized B Team for going way too aggressive. Immune thought they could end. B Team have other ideas.
And it is the throw into throw, one of the most cast tactics we've seen in the Fangbooth, and we see it here again. Overchased by Immune. Mikey is catching right wave. Why are you trying to end into in a 3 versus 4 with members spawning? Now, Primal Fang has been lost on most of them. They are still gonna have the temporary buff, but now they have to deal with 5 members of B Team again, pushing into their base instead. That should still be the prime up on a few of the members, on the at least the dual lane of them. So 7-1 and Bondroot are gonna have that buff up. The question is, do they want to go for the inhib?
Mike is still throwing Molotovs, trying to clear the way to 5 members, all with the orb.
Mamma mia, il throw nel throw, davvero. Grazie mille, Scal. Il combo stile Gideon con le ulti sta facendo la differenza, sì. Anche se nell'ultima fight, sì, Gideon ha FK'ato.
Honestly, with this game, some of the decisions starting to get a bit shaky. It looks like a bit of the immense exhaustion starting to kick in. It's so important for both teams to keep their focus. Tacit nearly gets caught on the lazy recall. Neff is going to walk around that corner just 1 second too late. Everyone gets away. Oh boy.
Oh boy, I think that's one way to summarize this entire game, but I think another one would be B Team. They need to be afraid of objectives, because honestly, while I like the sort of laning, while I like the early team fighting, I don't like the objective play. I think the decisions they make around objectives is kind of very questionable, especially in this game, where Immune has been getting the better of them each and every time. And I think it's like partly because of misplays. I think it's also partly because just comp-wise, playing into...
Mamma mia che match, errore su errore, teamfight perso su teamfight perso. Bellissimo però, continui ribaltamenti di fronte.
And we can definitely see that in action. I think they had a clear window where they had the right wave pushing into them, where they had super minions, where they had the inhib down, but they can't really leverage that to get the Fangtooth. Instead, they traded away, get the prime instead, and look for the fighting that did go in favor of Immune over and over again. I think, TJ, we're just having a bit of a lull state. We're watching just cooldowns ticking down. We're watching at objective timers ticking down. I think that is going to be the side of the game. 37 minutes in the game so far. I don't think that we're going to see another rotations of objective spawning.
Wow. Everyone just take a breath. This game still has life in it as well. That first game was 44 minutes, and now this game 37.5 minutes. My voice is still in there. Tang, you still hanging in there, my friend?
With a big bottle of water, I think it's
bottle of water,
fine.
absolutely.
A bottle of water.
Bottle of water, yeah, I've got my bottle of water as well right here. Honestly, it has been quite a friend throughout this day, an extended period on the desk, and now this grand finals where we're just getting so many long games. I think that's because neither team has really been able to have
ora si fighterà per questo primal.
Time we think that someone's going to find it. It's just 2 more kills dropping on the back end, right? They just haven't had that 3 for 0, that 4 for 0. It's always 2 for 2. It's always 3 for 3. It's always ways of just extending this game out. Neff, though, going to bump into Acid Court out.
No, troppo presto. Però Neff, fortunatamente.
Acid actually is able to keep himself alive here. But what about this team fight, though, knowing Acid...
Timata molto male l'ulti di Decker, cavolo.
But he's not going to be able to keep himself alive for too long. And Immune recognize that going to start at the final Fangtooth from B team. Gonna make the decision here now, my friend's gonna look to contest.
Vediamo, vediamo.
To look to trade. You've got Conte, you've got Morose, Penguin waiting behind the wings, Ben. Possibly thinking about another one. Penguin goes for the Riftwalker play. Conte.
Ottimo, presa la kill su Steel. Preso il Fentut. Questo potrebbe essere game, vediamo. Preso. Questo potrebbe essere game, Questo potrebbe essere game. Nel dubbio vanno a fare il prime.
That or prime for themselves, double buff themselves up to hopefully look to close out this game.
They should be able to. No jungler to contest this prime. They have so much objective damage with that Iggy as well. That one is going to be claimed momentarily. Neft is going to have the blink ultimate up if he wants to catch one of those targets. Instead, he plays it smart. He plays it slow. He plays with the mid lane, with the mid wave, because he knows that they still have a 30-second timer where they can push down those inhibs. I think a few of them are fake. They should be able to claim them momentarily, and with 7-1 Llama and Bondred remaining, I think it's gonna be a really hard base.
Hanno 15 secondi, vediamo.
Immune have got all 4 members. They've got both of the late game buffs at their most powerful point. We're past that 35-minute mark as well. Nef's knock's going to do so much damage, but the core is going to be targeting Immune. One out of this game.
Attenzione, questo è game, è game. 2-0 per l'Immune.
Move to championship points in the Fangbooth 7 Grand
2-0 per l'Immune. Applausi, applausi.
One game remaining for B-Team to come back, but Immune.
Nonostante i B-Team abbiano... Il B-Team sta giocando davvero bene. Non me l'aspettavo. Non me l'aspettavo. B-Team davvero bravi. Allora, vediamo. No, che pronostico. Sondaggio è dura. MVP, io metterei Gideon, che è stato molto bravo. Steel.
Neft has just been the only one who's really been picking
Right.
up, and he gets yet another win on that pick on Championship
Aurora.
Sunday, and that moves Immune to Championship points as well. They are on the cusp of
In
bringing
realtà
back
Decker,
the
dai.
Fangbooth title to the most winningest
10 minuti.
organization / team name here in EU Pred as well. Of course, Tang's got several Fangbooth titles when he was on that first iteration. Maybe we're seeing the start here of a second Immune 2.0, but I might get a little bit ahead of myself because B-Team have been showing some fantastic play themselves here. It's just mistakes are starting to happen. If they can happen to B-Team, they can happen to Immune as well. We are all human here in these games. They're going so long. They're going a distance. Oh my word.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I think with this one, I think TJ, you and I, we are probably
MVP
anyways, so I think
Bright
we're
per me.
just gonna head it over, I think, to a quick pause and then into a desk, or yeah, okay, TJ gives me the nod of approval, so I think that's exactly what we are gonna do.
Via copyright music, please. Thank you. Ok, breve pausa e poi ci sarà il terzo dei 5 match, forse, dipende. Che potrebbe essere in realtà decisivo se lo vincono gli Immune, oppure semplicemente si continua se vincono i B-Team. Vedi, forse l'ultimo. Ok. Vediamo. Tra l'altro, se vincono, come ho detto, gli Immune, sarà davvero l'ultimo, altrimenti no. Oddio, eccoci qua.
Sorry, they're giggling in my ears now. All right, what's up, everybody? We are on game 3. It's 2-0 for Team Immune. They are on game point, match point. They are ready. They are willing to get the winning play, the winning game, and they're trying to go all the way here. Now, one thing I really wanted to point out is this has been a long day. This has been a long day of games. We're on 9.5 hours of streaming. Kana's feeling it. The players are probably feeling it. TJ and Tang are definitely feeling it. They completely left their setups. They were like, you know what? I need to take a little time away from the PC. Walked away because 45-minute banger into a 40-minute banger. Absolutely insane. Moogie, let's break that down just a little bit. It seemed like B Team was on the up and up. And then what happened with Team Immune to turn that around?
Well, you're completely spot on. I feel like B Team really hard their shot, and the only thing that kept Team Immune inside those games is after those like scrappy team fight where maybe Conte and Moros were going a little bit overboard. Like Neft like kind of kept the game alive with like those long range snipe and collecting like a few additional pickup from here and there that stopped
Sì, Neft ha fatto davvero la differenza.
team fight into objective and into winning the game. So really like they keep the match afloat, and then it was anyone's game. And at that level, like the little things can matter. And we have seen like 2 times in a row, like TSC the little bit over eager. That's enough to find like a slight edge. It wasn't even that big of a mistake, but just a slight edge 2 times, and suddenly everything started to crumble. But the game was super close.
The snowball was absolutely real. Now, Malix, what would you say kind of happened like towards the end there? You know, you saw a couple of fights around the neutral objectives. They were trying to secure those on the side of B Team.
Oddio,
and
che
then
pacca che ha
finish
dato al
it off,
microfono.
but they just weren't able to in those team fights. What do you think happened there?
I think it got to the point where Immune had the 2 Fangbooths, and then when they did the trade for the Orb Prime and the Prime, I would want to say that is the focal point for where the game shifted in favor for Immune. Because after that point, Immune started being on those objectives at first and having that setup. And when you have the setup with an Igen, an Aurora, and a Grux, you have so much easier time navigating. Because when they had to walk into those Fangbooth pit and Prime pit, B Team had such a good way of just taking care of those team fights, and I think Venom did such a good job early on in the game. But then, as later on the game goes, like he was starting to get caught out. I think that the team might start be hitting these players because I feel like they were always stepping where they shouldn't have. But I feel like it came down to those trading objective, and they did not trade in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. Tight corners were probably the secret 6th player for Team Immune, just because of that team comp.
Tight
But speaking
corner.
of team comp, let's jump into the next
Vediamo il
this
draft.
possible final game, but knowing that TJ and Gang are casting it, it's
Tocchiamoci le
probably not
palle.
going to be the final game, let's be honest. But let's get hype either way. It
Muri
seems
al
like
primo
Muriel
ban.
first ban is going to be the way for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it seems that team don't want to play against that Muriel. Like, it makes the game very complicated to play because anytime you go in, you have to remember, oh, is Reversal of Fortune up or not? This time, B Team decided to remove the Grim, and they don't want it into the game, so we come back to normal thing. And I feel like on the side of B Team, like you can approach this match like in 2 ways mentally. Like they just like had a very long 2 games, and they just like almost pull it out. And
Zarus come pick, ci sta.
Either you feel like I can actually do it. So we'll have how it goes that game. And first pick Zarus. It was the first pick on the first game, and it was a good success for Team Immune, so they're gonna repeat that.
And on the set for B Team, they're picking up that Aurora. That Aurora had that team fight present with that Gideon as well. Now you have a bit of a wombo combo there. You can get the cryo freeze onto everyone and then follow up with the Gideon ulti.
Grux, wow. Aurora Grux di là però, eh. Aurora Gideon, scusatemi. Per i B Team. Combo niente male. Eiki.
Kind of devastating, I feel like, for Team B here.
And that's actually interesting that we see the Zarus and that Grux, because so we're also going to get the Iggy and Scorch that, of course, it's Mikey love. We get the Kira on the other side, but Zarus and Grux mean that maybe Conte is not on the Quang or is not on the Aura, and we'll have to play something else. Or maybe that means we're going to see like Penguin on the Zarus support. Who knows? He already like pulled out that. So that could be like the option that are here.
Yeah, the question is how much does Immune want to cook here? Do they want to? They are 2 games up. Do they just want to do a one for the lols and the memes? But,
Bandi qua.
I would be surprised to see the SRs go on to that support, but everything is possible. It might come out to what Team B opts in for the support pick here, which I think is going to be the next thing that they're going to pick here. And I would be surprised if they pick something other than a Phase here. I feel like Phase would fit their draft pretty nicely here with Akira.
And actually it's gonna be the Narvash, so kind of accepting that they don't really have a lot of lane pressure, but that's a lane that we have seen a lot. Narvash kind of working well with Gideon and Aura, like those 2 pick, like with a little bit of sustain can make the fight like last longer. And with the Kwang being banned, that means that probably like this Darius is definitely not support, and we're gonna have Conte on something else than Aura and Kwang, so that should be interesting to see how it pilots it. And I guess probably gonna play either the Grux or the Zarus. I think it will depend on what is the last pick on the side of B team, and then Morose will kind of adapt based on what matchup he wants. But
Sparrow Phase, wow.
Gonna be pretty tough because like the Narbash don't really have the range against the Energy Lens, so we can like keep poking like pretty aggressively, and we should have like a free scaling for that Sparrow.
Scaling up for that Sparrow, but we also have the Feng Mao now coming in. Feng Mao can be one of those to shut down the carry, because once he gets to that level 3 ulti, he can almost kill an 8 carry at half HP. So something you gotta be
pronostico, raga. Abbiamo pronostico. Chi vincerà la terza partita? Immune o B? 5 minuti, potete bettare.
Getting really big wombo combo energy from B teams drafting here. But before we jump into this match, Mugi, what do you think Immune needs to do up against B team to take the final game of the day, possibly?
I feel like with their comp they don't need to do
potrebbe essere il match finale. Vediamo.
Into the Narbash and team grouped around, and like you cannot sustain the damage of a Sparrow. So if the Sparrow start to get like some items, well then Zarus and Grux can just like create chaos, and then it's just like inner fire to win.
Now Malik's B team, they are on the back foot here. They're 0-2 up against Immune. What do they need to do to secure a possible reverse sweep with this draft?
I feel like the draft is fine. They have the pieces now. I just need them to clean up their later stage of the game, because I feel like that's where they've been struggling. They have been a bit uncoordinated. I think Tank said it in the first game. They struggle with this team fight aspects, but they're really good in the lane, and that I think they've showcased that. But now they need to bring in the late game to secure those wins, because otherwise, I mean, an early game only counts for some.
Immagino cosa combina left con Sparrow, vediamo.
Now, will B team clean up their late game, or will they be burned away by Sparrow's inner
Ciao, ti posso domandare cosa fare quando in un flame mi trovo un carry e un mid, come faccio a farmare più di lui? Devi accettare che i primi livelli, soprattutto fino al livello 3 più o meno, devi stare distante, give upare il farm, cioè non farmare, prendere solamente l'esperienza, stare abbastanza distante per prendere l'esperienza, ma non prendi poi i gold. Cercare di ingaggiare quando lui spreca i cooldown sull'abilità. Ad esempio, se è un mardo che ti spara e sai che ha la fucilata per spararti via, cerca di fargliela sprecare. Poi dopo il livello 3 cercare di prendere vantaggio nella wave di minion, cercare di fare più minion e ingaggiarlo, andare dritto e andargli addosso, cercare di farlo fuori, perché in teoria a livello 3 sei più forte e dovresti ucciderlo senza problemi. Comunque se non muori tante volte, cioè se non muori e riesci a stare vivo, anche se give up un po' il farm, quindi perdi un po' il farm perché loro sono ranged e te no, non è un problema. Poi a livello 6 con la ulti e tutto, se gli fai all-in lo fai fuori un carry, se sei un Grux, se sei uno Zarus, se sei uno Steel, se sei un Kwang lo fai fuori. Però devi giocare perfettamente, non farti poccare, anche se perdi farm non è un problema. Devi giocare molto molto safe.
hey, sometimes you have to strip it back to the basics.
Questo è quello che devi fare.
Funny button and hope that you have as
Non
many
voler andare per
around
forza
you
a lastittare il minion che poi ti
to make sure
massacra.
that ultimate gets
Se vedi che
valued
lui ti tiene a distanza, non c'è un problema. Te tieniti alla distanza giusta per prendere l'esperienza. Poi se non fai l'astit, non è importante. Prendi solamente quello che ti arriva sotto torre. Poi una volta raggiunto il 3, puoi provare a ingaggiare. Se vedi che non ce la fai, raggiunto il 6, sicuramente lo massacri.
And I think now for B team, we did see a few draft changes leading up to this game compared to before.
Però non è facile.
Most notably, we don't see the aura being picked up for immune anymore. That one is over to on
vediamo, vediamo.
Iggy is still in the hands
Nessuno
of
scommette su B team.
But DJ, one thing I really wanted to talk about as well is that Grim pick for B team was on their side 2 times in a row. Now that B team thinks, okay, we don't really
Ok, grazie mille, almeno un'idea, perché non sai quante difficoltà. Lo so. È normale, non sei mica l'unico. È difficile giocare contro i ranged se sei melee, molto difficile. Però devi anche tenere conto che se non muori tante volte, cioè se non muori, non tante volte, non dovresti morire mai, anche se give up il farm, comunque poi in teamfight sei più utile rispetto a un altro mago o un altro AD carry. Poi di norma dovrebbe gankarti di più il tuo jungler avendo contro una AD carry che praticamente oltre al blink non può scappare, non è resistente, quindi dovrebbe massacrarlo il tuo jungler. Però non puoi contare chiaramente sempre sul tuo jungler.
Up their sleeve to get something out of this one as well. And so you wanted to talk about that, the Grim pick or the lack thereof. It's a good segue to talk about this duo lane as well, because I don't know what it is, man. Nept just takes the heroes with the lowest win rates and decides, I'm going to pump some numbers.
Definitely one of those players that just elevate the hero that they're playing, and now he also has Penguin on that phase to help him through the lane, help him through the entire match and be his lifeline when he most needs it. And honestly, I think in this matchup, it's going to be pretty easy for them because they are against Bondroot on that Narbush together with Akira. So a very slow lane, a lane that I don't expect to see much of except for being on the death screen, because honestly, with the Narbush, doesn't provide as much as other ranged supports do, at least in the early game. Then towards the mid to late game, of course, we've seen it before. A good crash bang boom can change team fights like no other.
And just providing that healing as well. If we can get that Narbash to the later stages of the game, and if you think back about this grand finals, going into late game, going to that point where gold doesn't matter, where items just do not matter, it all comes down to composition in your play. We can see
match bello in stallo.
really up to immune to just
Zaros molto aggressivo su Feng Mao. La duo lane degli immune cerca di essere aggressiva dato che ha una lane phase più forte.
Immune just seems to get better and better. B team wanting to keep up their very strong early game vents already over towards the right hand side, going to at least relieve a little bit of pressure on towards Llama's Feng Mao, but Moreau's going to keep himself alive and doesn't burn any resources.
One thing we didn't really highlight this entire cast is like the interesting sort of pathing coming out of Venom. Like on that steal, he pathed blue to red. This time he does it again on the Aurora, trying to stay elusive when he does have to play into a Grux that just has faster clear. He's gonna show himself though on that right hand wave. Is also not gonna get the cyan buff because Conte clearing from red to blue is also there at the same time. Is gonna secure that one for Morose. And I think in total that off-lane matchup again is a bit in Morose's favor. That Zaras can be quite a pain for the Feng Mao to deal with. Always a barricade up to block the damage coming out of the hamstring from that Feng Mao. So in this one, I actually expect Morose to just kind of be able to run all over.
Zameen taking that Brooks and Zaras combination, just to pick a brain about that one as well. Is it more of a matchup related decision, right? Because we have seen, that Zaras has been having a lot of value inside of the jungle as well for some of these teams. So it feels like a conscious decision.
I think it's mainly the Grux is actually mainly for the Iggy, because both of them are very objective focused. The Grux just heals through all the objective damage now with those passive changes, and also just has sort of the highest DPS. And with that Iggy combined, they can just sort of threaten those objectives starting from minute 5. And I'm definitely expecting them to do this time. We see Venom actually creating a bit of early pressure there towards the left-hand side. It's gonna get spotted out by the Grux. Is in a bit of a bad position, but as Aurora, he shouldn't be threatened too much.
And with Tessid able to keep an eye on Mikey, Ziggy, and Scourge as well, it's going to mean that this invade is going to be a little bit risky, but Mikey's got the first move towards here, but the dual lane's in a good position as well, as members starting to collapse. Thankfully, if your name is Ven, you have got a glacial charge to get over the wall. Might have taken a few of those minions away on that invade here. And I've also got to kind of realign myself with Conte just not playing that Aurora this time.
Doesn't have the Aurora, no. Acid and Mikey are boxing. Mikey did get that river, but might have to pay with for
Attenzione, il blink preso da Aurora su Iggy. Purtroppo mi si è scaricato il tablet che utilizzo come stream deck e quindi non ho i comandi della stream in questo momento. Lo sto mettendo in carica, vediamo. Minchia, dopo più di 8 ore. Vabbè, era già quasi scarico, mi sono dimenticato di caricarlo, colpa mia.
Not really seeing a very clear avenue.
Mannaggia.
Still sniffing around on this left-hand side, looking for an opportunity, but
Rip il mio tablet.
From the Narbash, in between that tether pull that Penguin is able to provide on Team Immune as well. That dual lane just feels so difficult to actually get a consistent gank down. Maybe these junglers need to look a lot more elsewhere.
Yeah, it does look like it. Rose, in the meanwhile, is bullying Venom in his own jungle on the red side. It does look like his lanes again are kind of getting pushed in. We're expecting that on that off lane, on that dual lane as well. But in the mid lane, the Iggy also so hard to actually contest the wave against.
La dual lane sta bullizzando, la dual lane dell'Immune sta bullizzando la dual lane dei BT.
Really mana efficient trades, and I think Venom on that Aurora is kind of struggling, keeping up with the drugs that is just able to clear into clear even while wasting so much time on the left hand side.
Going to be waiting for that opportunity here, and mentioning about what Mikey is able to provide with that pick as well. Looking to the other side, we need a better performance out from Tazid as well. He was getting caught out in the later stages of that game number 2. It's really up to B team as well. When I talk about mental fortitude, when I talk about playing in a competitive environment, you need to reset after every game. You need to treat each one as if it is your last. And unfortunately, B team, this might be your last. Team Immune are on championship points here. You cannot afford to make those same mistakes here. And very much like game number 1 and game number 2, we're waiting until the latter stages of the early game for maybe that first blood to happen.
Yeah, this time a lot more controlled. We didn't see anyone start up those objectives. No solo bolos happening either this time, but Morose has been getting the better of Llama. Already the tier 1 half HP on the right hand side. We know that Venom might look towards the mid lane because that Iggy doesn't have blink up, but that is the only one. Now on the dual lane, Penguin and Neff trading into Bondroot. Didn't have the thunk up, but I think the main thing is going to happen when those dual lanes reach level 6, because that's where the spike happens.
I mean, Bondroot and someone have to be careful here. Conte has found himself on this red side. That's a blink, and Bondroot blinks away. Reaction times coming out. Penguin blinks forward. The energy land's going to root.
Preso comunque, nonostante abbia blinkato.
Crush hit by the smash and grab. Conte for the second game in a row gets first blood for Team Immune.
Quick reactions coming out, but Penguin is following that as well. 2 blinks for 1, but securing that first kill off the game for
E qua si tradano gli obiettivi. Fangtooth per mini prime.
Longer than I was expecting, but that's exactly what you have the Grux Iggy for, taking that Fangtooth, wanting to play through that Fangtooth win condition, but it is being traded out for that mini prime on the right hand side.
Expecting this to go on to Ven, but they have a really good avenue here because Morose has found himself still pushed up forward. He only just knows the mini prime has gone down as he's just notified himself here. But with Ven, with the glacial charge, the taunt space comes down.
Blink dei Morose.
A little bit too far ahead of the play. Blinks in time, and that's going to be 3 members wasting their time on the right for Morose's blink.
Getting the blink out, but what are they losing? Gideon is gonna lose a bunch of.
Perché è tornato in?
Getting the catch onto Morose though, try to cancel the base, pays for it with his life, but Iggy
ok, dai, ci sta.
So much damage onto the tier 1 tower.
Ha tradato la sua vita per la torre mid probabilmente.
but Morose fell hook, line, and sinker for Tetasid. Probably thought, oh man, Tetasid's mentally boomed. He can't be lazy recalling here. Free kill for me. Let's go. Wait, why are they still here? Loses his life 1-for-1, but massively, as you said. You know, he can get so much damage onto the tier 1 tower. He takes down the mid tier 1 sub 10 minutes. These structures are falling very early on. Tier 1 on the right hand side will be responded. Tier 1 on left also not looking very healthy.
Yeah, getting the tier 1 on the right hand side, but they did use the mini prime.
Va preso di nuovo il narbascione da Conte, però lo ripeto, è azzardato, ma ha fatto apposta, ha fatto apposta a bloccare il recall a Gideon per far prendere la torre di mid a Iggy, non è che si è suicidato. Certo, sarebbe stato meglio non morisse, ma... E mo si prende pure la kill. Sì, ha fatto il kamikaze. Ma gliel'avranno chiamata e mi avrebbe detto, oh, guarda che prendo mid se gli blocchi il recall. E lui avrebbe detto, vabbè, ci muoio però. Mamma mia! Moroso, signori. Moroso.
Big outplay. Seed wants to catch him. Does have the blink up. Could go for the double teleports, but not gonna.
Solo bolo.
Yeah, just Morose getting so much gold on that right hand side. Iggy also in the mid lane just pushing waves. Seed has to go to catch the right wave and just loses more minions to his tower. It's kind of looking like a disaster.
Going to catch out Mikey inside of this jungle, but Mikey's just going to drop turrets. The Cry system comes down, a good cancel of the ult boops them away. Mikey's able to escape the stun duration of the cryocism here. Amina just bleeding resources out from BT, and they just can't seem to catch hold. They just can't seem to catch hold of this game either. Amina just really turning it up when it mattered.
Yeah, definitely looks that way. 50 CS ahead, structure leads coming out ahead as well, with the dual lane tier 1 falling on the side of
cioè 50 minion avanti, Nef. 50 minion avanti. Ok.
Was a strong early game. This time Immune more than matches it, gets the big gold leads, gets those winning matchups as well. I think that's something to not be underestimated. The dual lane matchup is short of unplayable for the Narbish and Kira, so is that offlane matchup. And then B team just doesn't have anything in the early game to actually contest with Immune. So they put all their eggs in a basket, and that basket is late game team fighting, but they just struggle to make it to the late game.
And Amina just punishing the mistakes so perfectly as well, making sure that they
2 livelli gli ha dato.
That point where that late game team fighting really comes online. I mean, I thought Ven being able to deny counter this Aurora and then being able to play around it, but Amina just completely unfazed by that. They're playing out of their mind here. Conte's got himself the Grox. He's over on this right hand side just in case Llama pushes up. A little bit stuck between 2 members. No Ven is here. And look to try and go for the invade. Mikey will be able to provide a little bit of support. And Ven, I don't think this is your jungle anymore. You got to Sid, who would be in vicinity to provide a support, but you're a little bit far away. Ven able to get at least one of those minions. Smash and grab from Conte. Pulls Ven back, but really the minions were the main targets, and B team just losing resources and losing farm.
I think that's one of the moments as a jungler where you realize this is looking really bad. When the enemy jungler just dry walks into your jungle to take your 2 camp, while your mid laner just has to watch, doesn't have the tier 1 to save himself.
Ottimo pull qua. Va via per Aurora. Fra un po' c'è il Fentut. Attenzione. Neft intanto si diverte a farsi l'1v1.
Neft and 7-1 juking it out, but Neft is the one who wins that very slightly. 7-1 has to go back to base, so if there is an upcoming fight, 7-1 will at least have the health advantage, but he's currently out of the fight as the Fangtooth has spawned as well. Conte is hit, so is Mikey, Penguin, and Neft has healed himself up with the health pots. Conte going to start up that Fangtooth as well. Ven needs to steal this. He needs to give B team at least something to work with. He's going to go in towards the
niente da fare, secondo Fentut ancora per gli immune.
Grab a very easy Fangtooth and make their way out cleanly.
E Moro sta distruggendo
right hand side has
Think
to
Mao.
pick up the tier 1. Moreau is just too
Ce l'ha ulti?
strong, and
Vuole
then
ultarlo.
one is gonna blink, is gonna go with the Colosseum
Sì.
on top of Llama, force the blink away, and it just goes from bad to worse, honestly, for that offlane player. Even having that tier 1 secured before, together with Venom, it's just not enough to actually tango with that Zerus, with Morose. It did get a few outplays before, so far ahead in gold, so far ahead in XP, and also ahead in Fang Teeth. Mikey in the mid lane.
Blink qua
It's a black
per
hole
Mikey.
combined with the funk, but it's a good blink away from Mikey. Gets away, and now Conte is here. All those challenges to 3 members. Epoch comes out. Crisism will be used, trying to root up and stun Conte as it's all going to land. He leaves his blink to the last moment to get away, but now Neff and Penguin are here, and what can they do? Neff is going to be rooted up, and that allows B team to try and reposition. Bondred might have to be the sacrificial orc for this one. Neff chasing him out. We met up with Tacid as well. B team trying to make the play. Tacid jumping over the wall, taking the blast power, but immune with numbers. Goes straight onto the mini prime.
Mini Prime shouldn't be able to be contested. Kira left hand side, Venom also clearing his blue side, and Mini Prime secured on Neff.
È la finale, sì.
Yes, at 15 minutes, or 11 CS a minute, and it is Immune looking stronger and stronger.
I mean, there was, I think it was Lance from the PCC who said that Neff had a degree in agriculture. That man is a farming machine, and also just an absolute machine on that AD carry as well, keeping up the CS numbers. Is Immune able to just find leads, and we sung the praises of B team early on with their winning lanes, but honestly here, I don't think a single one of these lanes is anywhere remotely near winning. I mean, Morose has got the number of Llama, Tacid can't do anything, and that duo is an absolute inferno right now.
Yeah, Neft didn't get the most carries, but did get the most map pressure now on the
Rieccomi.
tier 1, also falling left way.
Qua
We see
prendono anche la torre dell'offlane.
The Aurora out of his own jungle again, but Gideon is there for the rotation.
Gonna hit one rock, gonna hit 2 on towards Neft. Wait for the tether. Penguin will be able to get Neft out of danger, but Neft has got himself a mini prime. Neft is not scared in the slightest. So much CC funks being dodged out. Neft has got the fancy footwork to pull. Finally comes through. Tacid wants to make it pay. The black hole over the top. Neft had a blink. Of course, he had a blink to escape the hail of arrows, slowing up Tacid as Neft completes another great escape. And now Mikey looking to head off members. He's got a few Molotovs in his pocket and throw them down, but not wanting to engage the fight just yet. B team looking to retreat. Penguin throws out an energy lance, not to find the target.
They get away, but they don't get anything in return either. It's just Blink's exchange. Gideon blink for that Sparrow one, but Sparrow always has that phase to back herself off anyways. So yeah, that big team fight sort of engage on that Gideon with those double blinks is gonna be down for B team. I think the big cooldowns for both sides, I think they need to be up for that Fangtooth. So like I don't expect many ultimates to be traded at this stage of the game. I think Immune knows that their win con is just going to be collect that Fangtooth and then just play through that Sparrow that is going to shred through everything that B team can throw at them, and B team needs to do everything in their power to try to prevent that from happening.
Because as you said right at the start, right, they've gone back to basics. They have drafted this wombo combo, Black Hole, Cryocism, and Earth Shatter over the top, Bondred, Crash Bang Boom. These are all game-changing ultimates. Let no one take that away from what B team have. But right now, with how Immune are playing at 18 minutes in, it's another slow-paced kill game. We've only got 4.
Gli Immune stanno giocando divinamente in questa partita.
Objectives, but it's Immune just keeping themselves out of arm's reach from B team at every opportunity. Ven feels like he's just basically attacking a wall out of frustration here. Ven just can't do anything at this point.
Yeah, he definitely can't. I think the kill score honestly doesn't paint the entire picture. Just objectives going in the way of Immune, structures also going in the way of Immune, and the map vision as well. CS, everything in the pejorative. Now Gideon gets caught in the mid wave.
He's already got that Epoch, gonna burn it into the torn space. Conte was waiting for it, into the waiting arms of the jaws of the abyss, and Morose is gonna get a stack onto his Colosseum. That's the black hole down, and now Immune They want even more. The Hoarfrost comes down. Conte just simply waits inside of that ice, cooling himself off as B team have to completely concede control of this side of the map. Llama has rotated. The Blast Flower gets Immune onto their third Fangtooth, and B team, out of desperation, they have to try something. They need to contest it. But that
Terza
Fangtooth goes down
Fangtooth.
so quickly, and now Immune are looking to punish. They're looking towards exit frags. B team gonna scatter to the wind. Ven might be the target here. Llama not in a great position yet.
Preso Lama. Sa che ci lascia? No.
Having to use that blink, he keeps himself alive. Ven also in a bit of a tricky spot, but he should be able to run to safety here.
He managed to escape, but what is it gonna cost? Blink away from Fangtooth, from the Fang, also just dropping the tier 2 now. Therefore, Immune, they are still pretty strong. They didn't lose a lot of HP, and they have the Narbash. They actually have the phase to heal them up. So even when Neft gets chunked there a tiny bit, they can always still threaten that Prime that spawns in 10 seconds time. They see 7-1 on the left-hand side, and I think this might be the trick.
Troppo forte Immune. Yes.
A quick recall. They want to spend their gold before
Forti. Sto match stanno dominando.
Like even if B team just somehow decides to immediately start up that Orb Prime and go for the
Stanno proprio dominando questo match.
It suits Immune, right? Because they know that they can just win any of these team fights whenever they happen. And for B team, it's very difficult to really find an opportunity for those ultimates to combine that this team comp to really work. Immune have done so well, walling them off, limiting themselves away, and catching them out when it's important. Or Prime looks like it's going to be the next start. Conte pushing in to the red side of B team's jungle. Ven, Llama.
Io stacco che io sono, va bene, Pisca, grazie per essere sempre presente. Thank you. Da oggi che vedo le partite. Ah, davvero? Ah, pensa. Pensa che io da oggi che la stream. Porca miseria. Ho giocato pure, pensi, io no. Qua viene chiuso Conte. Ma qua una gabbia della Madonna di Morose. E poi arriva Sparrow che preme R.
The right hand side, they're gonna lose their jungle, they're gonna lose their support. 7-1 fleeing, running for their lives, and 5 members of Team Immune, 7 kills to 1, starting up a 21-minute All Prime.
And only Acid there to try to do anything, but it's already half HP. Acid can just watch as Immune takes that first big objective of the game, teleports into the wall for good matches, thanks Cynic on the way out, but it's all for naught. Immune in the driver's seat. We get a quick tap screen, and honestly, TJ, it's looking just disastrous. 200
Pisca comunque.
On the side of Immune. I think this might be a wrap.
It's looking dire. It really is. And honestly, going back over this grand final, right, after game number 1, how back and forward it was. So same with game number 2. They went the distance. I just have that real creeping suspicion that B team have got nothing left in the tank. It's so dire for them. They've lost every single lane. Immune are able to just walk around this map with so much freedom. The B team, they're going to need a bit of a miracle to try and get back into this game, because Immune, they don't even care. They're pushing down that mid-wave tower. It has to concede pressure. Conte, he's just zoning off 3 members by his presence alone, and Immune just turning up the pressure once again.
Not afraid at all. Has Penguin behind him. Make sure that Neft is going to
be
safe. Also has the respawn, has the health regain from that Prime, so should heal up any second now. Gonna play on that next wave. It should not be a cannon wave quite yet, but they have 2 waves to play around.
Brimstone main, Valorant just throwing molly after molly on towards 7-1. Conte going forward. Ben's going to split the fight once again. They need to lock down a member. They're not smashing
perso qua.
Thank you very much. 1 arrow into the back.
Qua l'hanno persa. Vincono soldi. Allora, c'è stata una raccolta fondi, però non so se qualcuno ha donato. E poi ci sono dei platini in palio. Fammi vedere se qualcuno ha donato. Perché avevano fatto una raccolta fondi, ma l'hanno fatta alla fine. Cioè, si sono organizzati proprio male.
Oh mio Dio, ma adesso è arrivato anche il Gesù Cristo, ha dato la porta.
Ecco. Attenzione. Questo è game.
Ah beh, che dire.
Sei arrivato giusto in tempo, Alfiere. Perché gli Immune hanno vinto il Fangbooth in questo istante. Fatemi andare a prendere il tablet, va là.
Really deserved from Immune. They just win back to back to back. The third one, honestly, not a real representation of the entire. It did look pretty scary there with those first two games, but honestly, Immune brings it back. We see that lost depth, we see that hero pool, and we see that B team just doesn't have it in their tank.
E andiamo, cazzo! E andiamo!
This game's got another like twice
Easy.
duration in it. I'm going to relax and get comfortable, but no. I mean, I've just got a feel for
Comunque B team ha giocato bene, i primi due match davvero niente male, poi il terzo match gli Immune li hanno proprio asfaltati, asfaltati.
And honestly, fully deserved champions here.
Yeah, definitely. B team, big props to them, of course, as well. But I think Immune showed that, like, emotional, damn it! Clean coordination in those.
Erano meglio le semifinali da vedere by far. Non sono d'accordo, devo essere onesto. Sai che io credevo anch'io che EVT versus Immune sarebbe stata una finale anticipata. In realtà probabilmente lo è stata e sarebbero stati i match migliori mai visti. Ma in realtà i primi due match di questa finale, anche se hanno fatto 3-0, sono stati davvero belli e davvero equilibrati. Questo match qua invece no. Però i primi due match sono stati davvero molto equilibrati al cardiopalma, soprattutto il primo bellissimo. Probabilmente il primo match della finale è stato il match più bello che abbiamo mai visto nel torneo, per me.
Yeah, we could kind of split them in half, right? That was a 4 or 5 game grand finals, even if the score doesn't represent it. GG, well played, and many congratulations to Team Immune, commiserations to B Team.
Sondaggio.
All of it here from us on the casting desk for the final.
Allora, vediamo, nuovo sondaggio.
For the breakdown and a winner's interview.
Thank you so much, TJ and Tank.
Facciamo MVP torneo, però.
3-0 series, and congratulations, Immune, for
Conte.
absolutely crushing the competition. What a fantastic way to end the series, to end the day, and to end this amazing tournament. Thank you so much to Kana and
Mikey
for putting this on. But we have a winner's interview, and we've got Penguin from Team Immune.
Sondaggione.
For Penguin, what a beautiful
bella la canna di Penguin, mi piace.
Welcome, Penguin. I hope you're well.
Welcome, yeah. Thanks for having me.
Buonanotte Alfiere. Il VOD è diviso in due perché appena iniziata la finale mi è crashato il PC. Quindi se vuoi vedere solo la finale basta che guardi il secondo video. Ci sono due video su YouTube e anche immagino su Twitch. Saranno due VOD.
Well deserved. Well, we've got some questions for you, Penguin. We want to hear what you like, how you did everything, like from start to finish. But Mugi, if you got anything specific, please go ahead and ask.
So I'm always like a big fan of draft and strategy, so I'm gonna have the question in that regard. Like, my question is, when do you realize as a team that probably Green was gonna be like a pick that you're always gonna be present, and when
il migliore del torneo, io ho detto io Neft, mi dispiace.
Like,
Neft,
you can go through the short process of like how you utilize the green being like such a priority pick to build maybe some strategy.
Bisogna essere onesti intellettualmente. È una battaglia secondo me tra Neft e Conte, però Neft in questa finale i primi due match
che giocatore eccellente.
Esatto, che giocatore eccellente. Il migliore è unico, sicuramente, sì.
We can even get rid of the Zarus, so Neft has an easier time and just not screaming about the cage the whole time. So, But yeah, that's
Because
that.
I do feel like that's.
Sorry, continue.
I was gonna say I do feel like that the SARS pick was a one of those things that really stood out for you guys. Either you ban it or you pick it up as first pick. Do you think are people sleeping on it a bit too much, or do you think it's do you think just because you have the players on your team that can really provide that necessary hands to the champ?
I think Zarus does a lot for team fights, but he also has a pretty good laning phase. Like he can get through the laning phase really easy, but the cage is just a big go button, right? So if you're stuck in an ultimatum and you can't really get past it, you just hit the go button and you start a fight. I think that for most team comps and most of the meta champions right now, it's a pretty key factor in how we play comp.
Beh, direi.
Sto
dicendo che Zarus è molto forte soprattutto per la ultimate, che ti fa una gabbia che non puoi uscire se non blinkando, e quindi è molto forte come initiator. Per quello viene giocato molto in comp anche.
But I actually think I had some pretty good deck games this time, and I was actually enjoying the hero a lot more this tournament than I have been on previous patches, which is funny because we tend to prio enchanters this patch, not just immune but all teams in general. So I think the Deca games are probably my favorite.
Beautiful. Any last questions, guys?
I want to ask a bit about that second game, because how do you what are the comms when you're behind? Because you were behind in that game, but somehow you managed to turn it around and then find the win. How do you stay focused? How do you find these angles to get back into the game? And
è vero. Come siete stati focussati nel secondo match? Mi chiede, che eravate indietro. Quali erano le comms?
The second game did take it all out of us. I'm just trying to recall. When we're behind, we're just here having a look at what we've got, what we can use, what we've used on the enemy team, blink cooldowns, going through chat, seeing what we've got collections of, and play around that. If we see an angle, then we'll take the angle. But if you're from behind, we tend to just play slow and we kind of wait for them to make the first move. Was quite a key part in our draft as well.
Allora, mettiamo a posto i voti intanto.
I don't know, like a Zarus cage or a Gideon or a go button. We always have something to answer with it.
I'm gonna take the chance that we have a support main in the interview, like for the viewers.
Mugiwawa, ricordiamo che support
can be like a little bit tough. Like we don't always know what we should be doing. So what would be your tips on what you're supposed to focus on? Like are you supposed to focus more on engage, more peeling specific person? Like what would be your tips for like the support in the chat?
I think my biggest takeaway is you don't always have to be anchored to your carry. Yeri is the most important person on your team, but in early game, if they have a freeze, if they're sitting, chilling, they're not really in any danger, then let's go have a look at mid lane. Let's go see what mid lane's doing. Let's go have a look in the red side. Let's go see what the jungle is doing. It's just get a bit more out of the anchor that we are the carry's pet. Let's like get proactive and start doing things.
Get proactive. What a beautiful way to say that. Now, Penguin, how can people find you, and do you have any shout outs for like anyone in the tournament, your team, yourself? Plug yourself.
I mean, apart from the cliche of shout out to everyone we went against, everyone in the tournament, EWT, B Team, Ping Diff, they were all really fun to play against, and they gave us a good run for our money, I'll admit. As far as my team goes, you've got myself. I stream on Twitch from time to time, not always, but Penguin spelled poorly with a 9 at the end. You've got Nef's Twitch. You can go find Nef. He's somewhere high and mighty on Twitch at the minute. Moreau's live stream. He's probably going to be live streaming sometime today. Conte TV sometimes streams. If you want to go watch someone play Aurora all day long, then but yeah, that's all the shout outs I've got.
Well, congratulations on the win. You're 1,000 plat richer in the game, so go enjoy
1000 platinum.
But thank you again so
Questo
much
era il
for
premio.
the amazing play that you guys did today.
Dai.
Running it all the way in this super long day, like you were saying. You absolutely crushed it. Congratulations again. And if you have any last things to say, then we'll let
thanks
you go.
for having us. Thanks for having us. It was a hell of a time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Penguin. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody.
Vediamo se qualcuno ha votato. Niente, raccolti 0 euro, raga, mamma mia. Ovviamente l'hanno fatto tipo un'ora prima, tipo un giorno prima, ovvio che non hanno raccolto soldi, quindi ci saranno solo ed esclusivamente 1000 platini per loro in game. E la gloria, che poi alla fine è la cosa più importante. Quindi, let's go. E poi sul sito di Omeda City vedrete vincitore del Fangbooth 7 nella vostra carriera. Mica male, mica male.
Well, I didn't see the time like pass, to be honest. I'm always like enjoy seeing this competitive play. I feel
Anyway,
like the level is
comunque
going up after
10
every
ore
single
di
event.
live, 10
The only
ore
thing I
circa
have
di
to say
live.
is like, yeah, we just finished Fangbooth,
Sono
but I
distrutto.
can't wait to see what PCC are going to bring like
E
next, because like I'm a big competitive predecessor
E niente, però è stato bello, è stato molto bello, entusiasmante, soprattutto semifinali e finale. Cioè semifinale EVT contro Immune e questa finale che è stata molto molto bella. Vediamo se riesco a spammare i miei social, intanto spammo i miei social nel caso vogliate seguirmi. E grazie per essere stati presenti, siete stati in tanti. Di più di quello che mi aspettavo, onesto. E dai, basta così. Sono distrutto. E adesso tra un po' chiudiamo. Aspettiamo appunto che chiudano loro e poi chiudiamo anche noi. Che ne dite però? Questo torneo come è stato secondo voi? Vi è piaciuto?
And I just want to give my analysts another second to plug themselves, because we got to do the plugs. You know what I'm saying? We gotta plug ourselves, and the community wants to see more of you guys. So Mugi, if you would.
Well, you can find me on Twitch under Mugiwawa, YouTube as well under Mugiwawa, and of course I'm
Champions, grande Conte. 10 ore di live e ti dirò, quando è iniziata la finale mi è frizzato completamente il PC, ho dovuto riavviare e riavviare tutto velocissimamente. È incredibile, incredibile. Infatti questa live, se guardi, sono 2 ore e 26, altrimenti sarebbero stati 10 ore. Proprio inizia la finale, boom, frizzato completamente il PC. Ma porco, 2 riavvio. E vabbè, erano passati 5 minuti per fortuna e basta. Sempre bello vedere tornei per un gioco così giovane, assolutamente sì, 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 sì. Sono d'accordo. Ora su Omeda ti verrà vincitore Fangbooth, no, Fangbooth 8. Così glielo puoi dire a Sid, dici guarda, anch'io, vedi, ce l'ho, come te, vedi, anch'io.
Kana, literally everyone who worked on this.
Posso vendere l'account, esatto.
Again, this is a very long podcast, so I'm sure Kana is ready to take a very long nap, and so am I. But thank you guys again so much. That's going to be it for Fangbooth number 7. Congratulations to Team Immune, and we will see you guys in the next event.
Bella, bella. See you soon. Beh, direi che posso staccare anch'io. È stato bellissimo. Vi ringrazio ancora per aver seguito. C'è stata tanta gente. Mi ha fatto molto piacere. E ci becchiamo. Domani non esce nessun video su YouTube perché questo weekend sono stato impegnato col torneo e non sono riuscito a montare il video. Tra l'altro la prossima settimana è settimana di patch e quindi sarà un po' diversa la situazione. Scriverò poi su Telegram come cambia un po' il palinsesto. Penso farò video martedì e giovedì, poi live sempre mercoledì e domenica. Comunque lo scrivo poi su Telegram per bene. Niente, adesso guardiamo Wangle, one second e poi stacchiamo. Basta, direi che abbiamo guardato anche troppo Wangle. Alla prossima, ciao belli.